Alright, I'm undistracted now. I am no longer distracted. I am, starting the stream. Hello. Music, calm the fuck down. Stop it. Quiet down. Hello, welcome to Vera Channel. I'm your host, Vera Channel. You are here, and we are streaming video game content live from my location to your location. This is the Vera Channel, where we play video game occasionally. Welcome! It actually hasn't been that long. I keep thinking it's been longer since I've been here, but it really hasn't been that long. I just do a lot of collabs lately. And so I forget. Because collabs, I kind of forget I'm streaming after a while. Even when I'm hosting. Anyway, hello Raz. Hello Booba. Hello Tuhu. Hello Ika. Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome. I will cooler hydrate. You got it. Wait. Okay, I'll regular hydrate and I'll cooler hydrate in a second. And thank you for the nothing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope everyone's been having a good week so far. I hope you've been good. Hope it's been a time. A good time. Yes. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Hopefully good, though. I'd like to think so. I feel like I haven't streamed in so long. What's going on? Yeah, you know what it is? It's because when I do the collabs, even when I'm hosting them, I don't stop and talk to everybody in the office here. I just jump straight into the stream because I don't want to leave the guests waiting. I think that's why it feels like it's been longer than it has. But we did have a couple things here last week. We had what did we have? We had Diddy Kong Racing. Is that it? That might have been it. It might have just been Diddy Kong Racing. Hello, Allie. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Okay, it has been a little bit. That's fine. That's fine. Today we're going to pick back up with Please Be Happy. I've been going through a lot lately, and it's been a lot to deal with, and what I need is to be happy. So I'm going to play a game called Please Be Happy to make my brain have the happy, and hopefully it makes your brain have the happy too. We've played it before. This is like our 4th stream of it. If anyone hasn't seen it before, it's visual novel in Skye, New Zealand about a fox and a vampire and a regular girl. You're going to have one thing, it might as well be Diddy Kong Racing. That's true. That's a good point. I also need to go through the clips from that stream. There were like 20 clips from that stream. It was crazy. I don't even know what was going on. I was just absorbed in the game because it's good. Hope you enjoy it. I mean, we've been playing it. I already know I enjoy it. It's been going on a while. We just took a break from it. We had Roguery, which killed the regular schedule, and then Roguery kind of died because I had like more pressing stuff that came up, so I had to stop that prematurely. So we'll bring that back at some point. Maybe not like 3-week chunks, but maybe we'll just have weeks of Roguery every now and then. Just like how I want to do another horror week sometime. But right now, I want to get back to some of the other games we've been working on. And because this is just going to be a chill, comfy, probably not as long stream, it seemed like a good night for some Please Be Happy. So let's just get over to the video game. Did the pressing stuff involve an actual press? It did. It did. I had to become extra two-dimensional. Which I realize I'm using the V-Roid, so you can't tell, but I assure you, I'm flatter than I've ever been right now. That's what the press was for. It's like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? The bad guy in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Doc Brown, when he's just like, I'm gonna run everybody over. Wait, no, that's not how that happened. No, he did. He ran people over. I think so. I don't remember. I watched that when I was like 4. I should probably rewatch it. That'd be a good idea. Let's get to the gameplay, though. Wow, video game. Okay. And now we got game audio. That needs to be adjusted. Let me know. It seems like it might be a little high, actually. We'll turn it down to there. Oh, and then the mouse came in. The mouse. Nia. Nia came in. Which was interesting. That was fun. That was a cute stream. I hope you guys had fun. I watched the VOD. That Sonic murder seemed pretty chill. Pretty good. Alright. Anyway, let's pick back up wherever we left off.
How far did we get last time?
That's a good question, and I'm wondering the same thing, Aspen. You fell asleep during that? Well, you know, the VOD is always there. I'm sure Nia worked very hard because that was her one and only stream. So, I'm sure the VOD is still there. Channeled your inner Raz, yeah. Use that pressing stuff to iron out some of your issues. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I don't know if it works quite that way, but I like the metaphor anyway. I think that's pretty nice. Alright, so let's find the most recent one so we're not just doing what we did last time, because last stream, it worked out for me because I forgot, like, everything. But last stream we repeated all of the same stuff we did on the stream before that. So we really did 3 streams, and then we did the 3rd stream 2 times in a row, because I forgot what was going on. But that's okay, because now we're going to pick up where we left off, which is actually where we left off and not where we fake left off. February 9th. Earning your keep. 2308. That's the most recent date. So that's going to be the one. Has it really been since February 9th we played this? Wow, it's been like 2 months. That's crazy. Earning your keep. Hopefully volume's good on mic and game so far. The morning of my first day of work. I wake up... Okay, so we're starting work in the library right now. We're working for the vampire lady who owns the library, who's been housing us so far. The morning of my first day of work, I wake up extra early, at least an hour before Aspen will be here. I creep through the house so Juliet can't hear me, and slip out the front door. We've been playing this game since 2018. I don't think that's true, but we can pretend it is. Hello, Gazania. Welcome in. Welcome. Outside, it's wet. I don't know if it's rain or just the morning dew. There's more dark than sunlight still, but I can already see that the clouds overhead are gray. We've been playing this game since video games existed. You know, this was actually the first video game. This inspired whatever that one game is that you guys have referenced in chat before. I think Booba mentioned it. It's like it's like a radar game. The really old one. That's based off of Please Be Happy, the 2022 visual novel. Hello, Manuel. Fortnite, that's right, Fortnite, thank you. Hello, Manuel, welcome in. Just 2 weeks ago, that would have been a cause for concern. Now it's barely worth thinking about. I have somewhere warm to go back to. I start walking, taking a familiar path. Has it really only been 2 weeks? I feel like I've done more living in the past few days than in all of the years before them. Every day, something new. And every evening, something secure. It's a life I could have only ever dreamed about. It scares me how fast I've slipped into it. I spent my whole life alone. I devoted my entire existence to keeping it that way. But now, ever since meeting Aspen and Juliet, I'm not sure I like being on my own quite as much. It feels like I'm losing part of myself. My armor. My defense mechanism. Like I'm getting weaker, and maybe that's true, but also, maybe that's okay. Maybe it's okay to let myself be a little more vulnerable. Just a little. There's no one else to be seen on Mount Victoria as I make my way up the path. Instead of going straight to the top, I veer off into the underbrush. I haven't been back to my den since Juliet came and found me. I haven't forgotten the way, though. All the rain since then has done a number on the den. It's barely recognizable, since most of it collapsed into mud. In other words, it hasn't changed much since the last time I was here. This is where we ate all of our 7-Eleven food we snatched. We had, like, Doritos, and Bugles, and Doritos again. All of them. Stay strapped or get clapped, mijo. I guess so. I don't think That's a big concern in Sky, New Zealand. But overhead, the birds chirp in the trees. Maybe they're the ones I fed before.
Morning, birdies. Sorry I don't have anything for you today.
It doesn't stop them from asking. Half-heartedly, I try scooping away some of the mud from the mouth of the den, but more just slides down, erasing my progress. Then one of the walls collapses even more, making things worse.
Well, so much for that.
It's well and truly ruined. That's okay, though. I don't think I'll be coming back here. Just 2 weeks ago, this was all I had. Now it doesn't feel like anything. Maybe that's okay, too. I turn about to head back to the main path when there's the rustle of a branch and something comes out of the brush. She walks confidently for a fox. She trots right out of the bushes and crosses in front of me, then freezes mid-step. Her fur is pure silver, except for a patch of black across her face and paws. Another fox! They can probably smell the fox on us. We lock eyes. Instinctively, I can feel myself prepared to transform, so I can greet her as a fox. But I hesitate. Is that still my place? I'd be lying if I called myself a fox now. At least fully. I relax, not having noticed how tense I was. My beads also go cold, although they'd barely started to heat up.
Hi there.
You should at least be speaking fox language. I say it as a person instead, same as when greeting the birds. At the sound of my voice, the fox turns tail and runs. She doesn't give it a second thought. 1 second she's there, and the next, she's almost out of sight. I can feel a pull in my chest telling me to run after her. I'm sure I could still catch her if I tried. Of course, I don't. I'm not the kind of person who goes chasing after foxes anymore. Instead, I watch her disappear. It doesn't take long. Not even the grass rustles behind her. Can't believe the fox isn't protecting our fox eggs from predators, right? You gotta keep your fox eggs safe. That's just basic nature. I'm sure I'll still transform into a fox in the future. I love it too much not to. But I have to set some boundaries for myself. Watching her go fills me with a pang of longing, but also confidence. I'm making a choice to live this way. Even if I regret it later, at least I thought about it. At least I'm trying. I make my way back to the trail and up to the top of Mount Victoria. Coming up here never ceases to amaze me. No matter the weather or time of day, the view is always stunning. Right now, it's just me and the breeze. I close my eyes and spread my arms out, letting the wind ripple through my hair and jacket. For a moment, I just let myself go and appreciate how it feels to exist, to be alive and enjoying the breeze. I'm pretty lucky, aren't I? Slowly, I open my eyes again, looking out over the city spread before me. The first time I came up here, I thought it felt kind of small. After all, I can see the whole thing from here. But now, it strikes me how big it is. How big and how full. There are more people than there are buildings, and there are plenty of buildings. Humans and fabled, all alive and existing. So fabled are just like all of the animal people. Up until now, it's been easy for me to forget that people exist just like I do. That they have thoughts and fears and things that they want, rather than just being problems to solve or obstacles to avoid. Now I can't help but notice just how alive the world around me is, even at this early hour. I may be alone up here, but there's plenty of activity down in the city. I fumble around in my pockets until I find the right-sized coin and feed it into the binoculars nearby. I scan over the city looking for anything that I recognize. I'm also very bad at focusing binoculars. Finding the fishing spot is easy, since all I have to do is follow the coast. The whole pier is already covered in fishermen. From there, I managed to find the Bell House. Its windows are dark and it doesn't stand out much. I wonder if Aspen will be the first one there again today. The Bell House is the coffee shop. After the Bell House, I aim the lens at the library. The windows are dark there too, of course, including the window to my room. Wonder if other places have region-specific fabled Scorpion guy. Yeah, I don't want to go to Scorpion Fable. I mean, I don't know. It's possible though. I mean, we've had Bird Fabled, and we've had Mammalian Fabled. And so, like, Insect Fabled, or Arachnid Fabled, rather, is probably still possible. Do they have scorpions in Australia and New Zealand? They got spiders, so probably, right? They're probably roaming around there somewhere, if not here, over in Sky Australia. Unless Australia's just down on the surface, that's possible too. I'm not really sure what the whole world map looks like. I know that New Zealand is a flying continent, though. And there's other flying continents as well. I pause on that image, just my window, framed in the middle of the lens. From all the way up here, I can spot a tiny little place that I can call my own. You think scorpions fly in Australia? I wouldn't doubt it. Australia's, a place that I'd like to visit. And then probably never step a foot outside of the city because I'm scared of the wilderness. I stare at it until the shutters click and the view goes dark. But also, if I go there, I get to listen to Australian people. And I like Australian accents a lot. They make me happy. Just 2 weeks ago, I stood up here and wondered if I'd be better off leaving. I'm glad that I have an answer to that now. I turn around and begin the long walk home. The library is still dark when I get back, but I can hear the low murmur of conversation from the kitchen. As I step through the doorway, I find both Aspen and Juliet already seated at the table, waiting for me. Breakfast is already cooked, too. There's a lot more food than usual.
Ah, Miho. Welcome back.
Musics.
There you are! We were wondering where you'd gone off to. Morning! Just went out for a walk. Sorry if you thought I ran away again.
Aspen shakes her head, pouring herself a cup of coffee as I sit down.
The thought crossed my mind, but I didn't really believe it. You've got a big day today, right?
Right. Got like a job or something? Like, you know, the work job with the stuff and the things. Library, that's it.
You can say that again. Went on my walk just to clear my head. I hope you're excited too. I'm happy for you, even if I am a teensy bit jealous.
See, she should be really jealous because, like, she doesn't even get to work in the library, but Miho does. Meanwhile, Aspen reads books and writes books, and Miho is 100% illiterate. Aspen spoons a tiny scoop of sugar into her coffee and stirs it. She gets to eat all the books and get paid for it. That's right. The thing is, if she eats the books, then there's no more record of the books. Or if there is a record of the books, you can just blame whoever checked them out last. And then keep charging whoever checked it out last. And you get a free snack, and they have to pay you money. It's a win-win situation for everyone. Hello, please. Welcome in. Welcome. You're playing some Please Be Happy today. Wait, is that how you're supposed to do it? I'll have to remember in case Juliet ever makes me drink tea again.
A teensy bit of jealousy is a good motivator to work even harder myself.
Actually, about that...
Juliet, you had better not be about to offer me a job.
Rather the opposite. I have a favor to ask. just for today, do you think you could assist Miho as she gets her bearings? It's getting near my bedtime, and while I'm sure Miho would be able to handle herself, I imagine a helping hand would make things easier.
That's right. I forgot that, like, these two are, like, besties, but they just spend, like, breakfast and, like, dinner together or whatever. Because, like, Vampire doesn't like daylight.
That is, assuming Miho doesn't mind.
Of course not.
Both of us look at Aspen expectantly. She bites her lip and tries to hide her smile behind her cup of coffee as she takes a sip.
Well, I suppose I could spare the time. Great. But what about the Bell House? You didn't get fired, did you?
They'd go out of business the day they fire me, and they know that. But I enjoy how that's your first assumption.
It's a good assumption.
No, I simply swapped shifts with someone, so I don't have to go in until later.
Wow, that's convenient.
Not a fan of opening shifts. I have done opening shifts at a coffee shop before. Where you have to, like, be there at, like, 4:30 in the morning. Unless you're, like, the main person opening, in which case you're probably going to be there at, like, 4 in the morning. You do get, like, that time before the storm to set everything up. But also, it's early as fuck, and I like sleeping instead of being awake at those hours.
And much to our benefit. Thank you, Aspen.
Yeah, you gotta milk all the coffee cows that morning. It's the only way to get it fresh. Right? Not the coffee beans or anything like that. The coffee cows. That's actually how lattes are made. They feed coffee beans to cows, and then you milk the cow, and then you get, like, a cappuccino or a latte, depending on how long you milk the cow for. Congratulations, Captain Stump! You're the first one here. You did it. Good work. Also welcome.
Don't mention it.
Then, shall we turn our attention to breakfast
You did
instead?
it.
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
There's the usual eggs and toast and fruit, but there are also pancakes and hash browns, too.
You really went all out, huh?
Complete tactical victory, absolutely.
I felt today merited a bit of a celebration. Of you, and the start of another chapter of your life.
Who's gonna get, like, sick of working after, like, 20 minutes and decide to go, like, rob the Quickie Mart again? If you had the option to, steal Quickie Mart food and live in the dirt, but you like the dirt because you're a fox, or to work a 9-to-5 job, I feel like the choice is pretty obvious.
Aw, thanks. It's really all because of you two, though. I'm just...
Oh, quit saying that! You need to give yourself more credit, Miho! We can only try to help show you the path. You're the one who has to follow it.
For those who haven't been watching this game, because there's probably a couple of you, Miho is a fox, presumably able to become human because she got turned into a fabled, through these beads that she got from, like, this traveler who she knew, like, 100 years ago or something, because she's, like, anime old. And then she has, like, a curse thing where, after 24 hours of not interacting with someone, they will, forget her face entirely. And so her strategy has been to just kind of, like, duck onto airships, because airships and floating continents are the norm on this version of Earth, and go from country to country and just kind of steal food, steal things worth money, pawn them off, and just kind of be like a thief who can get off the hook very easily because no one ever remembers who she is. And then she stumbled across a vampire who got really, really upset when she tried to steal a gold frame from her. or rather the painting, but she wanted the gold frame. And ever since then, she's been interacting with these people on a more frequent basis, and therefore the curse hasn't been kicking in like it's always happened before, because she's always been able to outrun people. But rather than be like shitty about it, she's just kind of like, I was like you once. I was just random vampire running around sucking blood, being a trash. But now I'm not, and you can too. So here's a free bedroom you can live in, but also maybe help out in the library sometime. And then Aspen's like, I'm completely normal and work in a coffee shop, but I'm friends with a vampire. And that's the story of the game so far. You feel like Miho is very underutilized as a government special ops operative. I mean, I don't think the government knows about her. If they did know about her, she probably wouldn't have a whole lot of freedom, though, certainly. You know, if like she's spending a lot of time in New Zealand, so whatever, like, shady organizations in New Zealand catch on to her, probably something to keep an eye out for. But yeah, that's the plot. And we're gonna date them. I mean, we're probably gonna date one of them, not both of them. She's probably the more ethical choice. Because we're both, like, old, fantasy monster people, I guess. And then she's, like, regular human. And ages like a regular human and stuff. Except Aspen's voice is cute, and I want to date her. Because she's the coffee shop one. Vampire's very cute too, though. But a little too formal for me. Not all about that formal life. That's what happens when you're, like, hundreds of years old and all fancy and sophisticated, though. She could be doing mafia stuff. That is true. She could.
Whoa. Who wrote that?
Second sub, baby! Second sub. That's a lot of months. Is that the first 18, or have we had 18s before? That must be the first 18, right? Damn. Thank you for 18 months of subscription, and for apparently 2 sub babies now. I appreciate it a lot. At tier 3, too. You have been, like, super supportive, like, forever, Manuel. I really appreciate that. Considering this computer right here, too. You did a lot to help with that, too, so thank you. That's true, I have been subbed for longer. That is a good point. I think you've been subbed since the start, so you should be the max. Yeah, I mean, you're one of the founders, and that was like, what, like 15 people? Is what that goes to initially until you get, like, big. So, like, that was probably within the first few streams after hitting affiliate.
Nobody. I do occasionally have
And I
my
see
own thoughts, you
Ika's
know.
also a founder, so we probably
Anyway, just accept
probably
the
got a few more
compliment and
18s
let's
coming
eat.
up here soon. First 10 and then 25 at partner. Oh, okay. Got it. Polar hydrate, will do. Thank you.
Fine.
Yeah, Stream Elements is the real MVP. Stream Elements has been here almost since I started streaming. Before I even hit affiliate or anything. You really have been giving your all, Stream Elements. I appreciate the dedication.
How is it?
Great! I've never had hash browns that weren't soggy before.
And the, like, 5 sponsored stream offers this last week that I declined all of. Eventually I'm gonna do that. Chat, I might whore myself out a little bit and do, like, wait, maybe, let me rephrase that. I might sell out a little bit. That probably sounds better. I might sell out a little bit this summer and, really try to get on some of those sponsored streams, because, finances suck. And I need money, so, FYI. You might start getting like weird mobile game streams at some point. A little selling out is a treat, that's right. You will make fun of you the whole... I mean, that's fine, honestly. I know what I'm getting myself into. It's fair. Totally fair. Sometimes that's because they were leftovers I scavenged, but sometimes even when they're fresh.
I'll be sure to remember you like them this way. Oh, and the pancakes you made are delightful, Aspen.
You made these? Don't sound so shocked. I have to do a lot of baking and prep work at the Bell
Yeah.
House.
The coffee shop I worked at didn't do any of their own baking. Except for when I was working at the coffee shop that was a bakery. The one that was a bakery did their own baking. But I didn't do the baking, the bakers did the baking, I did the coffee. Very different things. Raid Shadow Legends stream when? I don't know, probably never. Here's the thing with sponsored streams, is that the same offers go out to, like, everybody. So, everyone needs you to, like, sign up and like, you know, a lot of times the requirements for a person-by-person basis aren't huge. It's just kind of like play the game for like 30 minutes. And it's not really a big time sink or a big investment for people watching the streamer. That being said, when everyone's getting the same sponsorships, and you can only do that stuff once, games kind of wear out their welcome within like a circle of communities. Because nobody's left to actually sign up for an account. That's when things get complicated. And that's why, like, Raid is, like, a weird one. It's like, that's been done before. And I'm pretty sure everyone who would have played Raid already has. What were my last few? Bots are very heavily involved with the selection process, but they can't be that involved with verifying you upload urine. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've had a bunch of stream elements this last week. We got, the one that frustrates me is the fact that I got Genshin one time, and I would have done Genshin, even though I probably wouldn't have been able to get the sign-ups. Like, I love Genshin, but for some reason they're really dumb about Genshin, and they're like, people have to sign up on mobile, they can't sign up on PC. And it's just like, well, that's stupid, because you're asking everyone to have, like, a super phone. Because that game does not run great on a lot of phones, and it's a lot of storage space, and their phone's gonna, like, go nuclear, and it's like, just let people use the other versions of the game. But yeah, I didn't get to do that offer, because it came at a bad time. Call of Dragons? Let's see. Call of Dragons was today. Yesterday I got Puzzles and Survival, which I think I've gotten, like, 5 times already. And then, like, 3 days ago, I got one, too. Instead of mobile games have bits, oh my god, thank you, Stomp, I appreciate it. Thank you for 170 bits, I appreciate that a lot. The only mobile, well, there's 2 mobile games I'm actually, like, genuinely interested in streaming. Not as a promotion, but just because I want to stream them. Citus, because I don't know how I would actually make that a good stream. Because I have to play it on mobile for it to play properly, except it's basically a visual novel attached to a rhythm game, so the visual novel parts will be fine, the rhythm game parts will be complicated, but I still need to figure out the setup for that. I really need to just, like, ask Rummy or somebody who's done mobile games before, because I have to use an actual phone. And then the other one is Arknights, because I like the story and the characters of Arknights. But I don't have to play that on an actual phone. I can use, like, BlueStacks or something. Because it's not a touchscreen intensive rhythm game. It's something where I can just click around and it'll do everything I need it to. You're waiting for the FF11 mobile game for so long and they can't... Oh, did they? I forgot that was, like, a thing they were doing. That's a bummer. That was a long time ago they announced that. Like, I only remembered because you mentioned it, but I remember they were doing a whole bunch of stuff with 11. The other thing was, like, making a, like, offline version. Is that the same... The offline version, is that the same as the mobile version, or was that just a different thing announced at the same time? Because I think that's a good idea. Because every single server-based game should have an offline version at some point. for the sake of game preservation, and for people who, you know, enjoy your product and invest time and probably a bunch of money into playing your game. It'd be nice for them to be able to revisit it years down the line because they, like, you know, they were the reason your thing was so successful. So you need to, like, actually let them keep playing their game that they've been paying you for. Private servers are good. It is, yeah. No, it's true. I've been trying to figure out private server stuff for Maple Story too, because I really want to go back to that. But then there's like ones where I've been trying to figure out a solution forever and I just can't. Like, I don't think there's any real solution to play Terra Battle again, which is a bummer, because I really like Terra Battle. Quite a bit. Anyway.
They're really, really good.
They're really good pancakes. Even when they don't release an offline version, somebody will just hack it anyway and put the whole server. Yeah, but the thing is, like, you have to have a team of people who knows how to do that stuff. And also, not every game people do that for while they still can. Because there's like a number of games I've looked into that stuff for, and it's like, yeah, nobody did anything. So it's just gone. Except for, like, you know, on a computer inside of, like, an office somewhere. Really easy to play Android games in Chrome, too. That's probably fine, too. I mean, I've played Arknights on my PC before. That one's not a problem. Situs is an issue because it's a rhythm game, and I gotta touch the screen. It's kind of like, I don't know what the best parallel would be. Osu? I mean, people play Osu on computers. But I don't really know what else. It's like you gotta tap a bunch of different things and swipe and stuff, and it's not something you can really do with like a mouse, because you gotta be in multiple places at the same time. So that one has to be on a phone. But Arknights, I can just do whatever. That's not a big deal. I just haven't gotten to it because I have a laundry list of things I want to play. Like, I bought No More Heroes 3 when it came out, and I was like, I'm gonna play all the No More Heroes games on stream. Haven't gotten around to it yet. Danganronpa, we started and then we shelved it, but it's like, I'm gonna go back to it. I have a lot I want to do. I just work so slow and I get distracted so often. But also, it's more fun to just play the things that seem like they're fun at the time rather than the obligations. And sometimes the things you enjoy become obligations, and then you want to put them on the shelf and come back to them later. And then nothing ever gets finished. I think the big priority is to finish right now. When I get around to it, and I'm more regular on streams again. FF6 is really high, because, like, playing all of the Final Fantasies has been one of my goals since I started the channel. And we need to actually finish 6 so we can move on to the second Final Fantasy game within the first 2 years of streaming. We'll see if that's possible. And then after that, Nocturne. And maybe we'll finish Tomata one day. Maybe. I love that game. But I'm also considering not returning to it for a little while. Just to be obnoxious. And for other reasons. But before that, we need to start Halo 3. To finish Halo 3. That is true. That's a good point. I've played Halo 3 before. Not on stream, but I've played it.
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying them.
Now, not gonna lie, I was considering, just playing through all of Nier Replicant and then finishing Automata, despite the fact that we're, like, probably 6 hours away from finishing Automata. 100%. As tasty as they are, there ends up being more food than I can eat. I force myself to finish the pancakes, even though I'm full by the time I'm halfway done with them, because I don't want Aspen to take it personally. But eventually I have to throw my fork down in defeat.
Did you get enough to eat, Miho?
You must keep eating the pancakes, Miho.
More than enough. I think I'm set for the rest of the day.
More pancakes. It's gotta be like that game in Wreck-It Ralph where, like, the bunny eats all the pancakes and explodes.
I'm sure you'll feel differently by lunchtime.
And there's no greater compliment to the cooks.
Yeah, Cruelty Squad definitely exists on that list somewhere. I don't know if I would say high to the top, though. Probably high to the bottom, also known as low. Splatter is higher priority than that, though. I wouldn't mind going back to Splatter sometime. I was having a lot of fun with that. Splatter's just more my style. It's like a similar vibe to Cruelty Squad, but it's like more the kind of shooter I want to play. The three of us start to clear away the dishes, and I start to feel a little apprehensive as opening time draws near. I've spent enough time in the library to know I don't need to worry too much, but I can't help but be anxious. Pancakes are the kind of thing you want all of until you hit your limit, and suddenly the thought of pancake... Yeah, I don't really eat pancakes much. I like waffles. I do those sometimes. I feel like I don't really have that sensation with waffles so much as with pancakes. I don't know why, though. They're very similar. Based waffle enjoyer. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got that crispy, and then you can, like, got all of the good squares for, like, the syrup and the butter, or whatever else you want to put in there. Blackberry jam is sometimes pretty good on waffles if you want to mix things up. Or, like, pear. Just straight up putting pear on there is pretty tasty sometimes. Pancakes expand in your tum-tum and make you explode. That's true. They're like rice. Don't feed pancakes to birds. There are a lot of little details to remember. Not just which books go where, but stuff like names and special requests, too. I already know I'm not going to be the fastest, since I'll have to just copy words and see which ones match, instead of being able to read them. Yeah, not being able to read in a library is really great for the job. French toast is better than waffles, better than pancakes. French toast is pretty good. I can accept that. That's reasonable. Been too long. It should be unlawful. Last time I had a chicken and waffle. It's been probably a couple years since I had chicken and waffle last. It's a good combo, though. Smart. Whoever invented chicken and waffle. You got it figured out. With all the practice and memorization I've done, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Oh, they have them in California, too, though. I think it's because the Bay Area has a lot of, like, you know, trendy stuff. Big metropolitan areas tend to get a lot of foods you wouldn't necessarily get in more rural parts of the state. But, like, Bay Area has a little bit of everything. And I know there was, like, a big boom in chicken and waffle here some years back. It's always interesting when a new food enters the food chain, because suddenly, within, like, a year or two, you have, like, 20 new restaurants spring up within, like, a year that are all like, oh, this food didn't even exist in my life until a few days ago, but okay, now it's here. New York, New Jersey. Well, again, New York, New Jersey, too. That's, like, big city stuff. I think just largely urban areas tend to just carry that stuff very well. You don't gotta look anywhere. Every diner does them. Nice. That's pretty cool. It's not quite that abundant here, but it is still fairly common. Down south, they're just right there. Yeah, well, I mean, every region has their specialties that are going to be easier to find. Like, I can go to pretty much any town in California and find some good taquerias because, like, we have a large Mexican population. And so it's like, that's basically our staple food. Whereas you're not going to have that massive selection if you go, like, a few states over, further away from the border. Or good anyway. I remember finding out about queso last year and I was terrified. We had, like, queso, the Spanish word for cheese, being used for, like, the most un-Mexican cheese to put on your Mexican food. And I'm like, what is this? I'm so confused. You never saw them in Washington, and it's kind of non-existent where you are. I see. Yeah, I didn't see them. I didn't see them in Washington. When I was in Seattle, I don't think there was much of it. There was probably somewhere, um, but San Francisco Bay Area, you can find it around. I'm not surprised it's non-existent where you are, though. It's got really good pizza and seafood. I dig it. I dig it. I'd love to try pizza from other places. There's some good pizzas I get around here, but most of them are pretty mediocre at best. I have had like some like I don't know. It's bad when the best pizza you can get is just like a chain. Like any of the places you go to where it's just like, oh, this is like a local pizza place. I wonder if it's going to be pretty good, and it's just like, not really, not really. It's like a couple notches up from a freezer pizza. They had some good ass taco trucks down in Washington. I mean, that makes sense because like it's still like on the West Coast. I think the entire West Coast is pretty good on Mexican food. Like Mexican food is like my basic food. I could eat burritos forever. Burritos and tacos and quesadillas and enchiladas. All of those. Just give them to me now. Costco pizza is pretty good for the price. Yeah, I mean, and sometimes that's the deal. Like sometimes good food isn't about being good. It's about like being cheap and you need something in your stomach. So I get that one. Region specific food is weird. Yeah. Pizza place is great by me. They do a nice cheesesteak pizza. Oh, wow. That sounds awesome. It's... Okay, so I have okay, what I don't remember what it's called. I have that food delivery thing that people use attached to my Twitch account. Whatever it's called, it should say it down below. But one of the items I used to have on there was Philly cheesesteaks. And the Philly cheesesteaks come from a local pizza place. So I'm wondering if that pizza place might do that. I don't think they do. But like they make the cheesesteak and they make the pizza. And now you're saying that that's a thing, and I want them to have it at this place, and this place is like perfectly made for it because they have both of those things. They need to do it. You have no taco truck. That sucks. You have hot dog trucks. That's okay, but like you can't. That's not a sustainable thing. I like hot dogs, but I always feel bad if I eat them like multiple days in a row. I'm just like, oh, I'm dying, aren't I? Costco food court is a pretty good value. Yeah, no, I've done the Costco food court a lot. I like the chicken bake. Those are like $3, I think, or something. But yeah, it's definitely a lot cheaper than a lot of options. I mean, even here, most fast food ends up costing like $10 or more for like the basic bitch combo meal, and it's just kind of like we don't make that much money here. We might make more than a lot of the country, but also you charge so much for literally everything that it doesn't make a difference. Talking trash, congratulations, you're first. You did it. You miss a good ass taco truck. Yeah. Yeah. Taco trucks are always fun. It's just a pizza with cheesesteak ingredients. Yeah, and they have all of that there, so they really should. If they don't, I should just see if they'll make one. Because it's like, it wouldn't be hard. And it's a local place, so like they're not going to be like, oh, we're not allowed to do. I mean, they might be like, oh, we're not allowed to do that, but like they're not going to have like the big corporate higher ups or anything who are going to be like, oh no, we can't deviate from the menu or they'll execute us, because that's what happens when you work in chain food places. So you got to be careful. Hello, trash. You're the first. That's right. All right. We have made it like 2 screens of text in the last 20 minutes. This is good content. I dig it. Stuff like that is informal here. You could go to the place and say, hey, can you make calamari and put it on a pizza? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if the place is just like a locally owned thing, you can kind of make that kind of thing happen. It depends on who's working, too. Like, if it's like one of the main people who always works there, as opposed to just like a summer hire or something, you can probably get away with it if it's like a local thing. Corn and mayo pizza piled high? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. People always talk about that being weird, and the more we talk about it, the more I just want it. And it's just like, I don't even like mayo, but it sounds good. Because I worked in a Korean bakery, and like we did lots of corn and mayo stuff, and it's like I didn't think I liked that combo, but now I kind of do. Different mayo, for sure. But yeah, it was pretty decent. Just give you an arbitrary price. I like that. I like that. Yeah, when people are willing to just kind of like make whatever for you, that's pretty good. All right. Did I read this yet? There are a lot of little details to remember, not just which book goes where, but stuff like names and special requests too. I already know I'm not going to be the fast. Oh, yeah, like I don't know how to read, and I have to organize all of the stuff in a library, so I'm probably going to be slow at it. Surprise. With all the practice and memorization I've done, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. So instead of dwelling on it, I make myself focus on rinsing the dishes, making sure I don't miss any spots. We really should have done the other job, but they didn't give us a choice. We were offered a job at the coffee shop, but we didn't take it necessarily. I think we were offered a job there. That would have been more reasonable than trying to do something that requires reading comprehension when we have none, though. On the other hand, Aspen is positively buzzing with excitement, although I can tell she's trying to hide it. She flits from task to task, straightening things that don't need to be straightened and tidying up parts of the kitchen that aren't dirty. She hums to herself as she goes, sometimes popping up beside me or Juliet. And of course, Juliet herself is the same as ever, calm and stoic. I thought she might be a bit worried about leaving the library in our hands, but considering she leaves it unstaffed most of the time, maybe not. An angry swarm of bees in a person suit. I mean, she is the only, like, human member of the main cast, so that could be possible. That could be a twist for us. At the very least, I'm determined to not leave the library any worse than when there's nobody running it. That being said, one of my favorite characters is an angry swarm of bees in a person suit. And she's pretty cute, so, you know, that's not really a huge negative. Finally, we finished all the cleanup and chores.
Thank you for your assistance. Are you two ready?
Yes, whenever.
Yep.
Let's get the two of you set up then.
I like Miho's ears. They make me happy. Juliet leads us to the front desk, where there's a fresh stack of checkout sheets and a jar of pens, plus the computer for looking things up.
I did a once-over before breakfast to make sure everything was as it should be. I'm sure the two of you know your way around the place by now, and that's really all there is to it. And if you feel the need, don't hesitate to wake me.
Don't worry, we'll be fine. I'm like Cinderella. I intend to live my dreams for the precious few hours that I can.
Do you have any questions, Miho? Or anything you'd like to go over again?
I'm fine. I've done all the
Oh.
prep I can.
I forgot what that looks like on stream. Show up on stream. Waiting for it to load in here. It hasn't loaded in here yet. Is that just not going to load into the chat box? I thought that would load into the chat box and just look stupid, and it's not loading for some reason. Interesting.
All right then. If the two of you are all set up, then I'll be off to bed.
Yeah, it just
I'll
doesn't
see
show
you in a
up.
few
And
hours.
anyone watching the VOD is like, wow, Vera's crazy. It's true. But also, the ASCII art's real. I'm not imagining it.
Wow! Have a good sleep.
Good night.
Seems that way.
Frames that way. With a final wave, Juliet goes upstairs and disappears into her room. From behind the desk, Aspen places her hands on her hips and looks around like a queen surveying her kingdom.
And now we wait.
I take a seat in one of the two chairs and kick my feet back and forth. After pacing around a bit, Aspen sits down too, whirling a pen between her fingers.
Nervous?
A little bit.
It's understandable. I was nervous on my first day of work too. I'm sure everyone is.
I just don't want to mess anything up. Especially not on my first day.
Relax, it'll be fine. Not that I think you will, but even if you do make a mistake, that's natural. It's how you get better at things, by doing them wrong until you figure out the right way. There's not much that can really go wrong, either. It's not like at a restaurant where there are customers paying money and with all kinds of different orders.
Like cheesesteak pizza.
If it takes you some extra time to find a book or put one away, that's no big deal.
Now I just want cheesesteak. That sounds good.
Yeah, I know you're right, but I still worry. I don't want to do such a bad job that Juliet changes her mind about me or something.
I don't think anyone has a really high bar set for your work right now.
Are you still worried about that? Juliet adores you. You could burn the whole library down and she'd still let you live in the ashes.
That'd be closer to what I'm used to, at least.
Right, you and your dramatic backstory.
My what?
Backstory? Life story? Whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't make light of it.
Dear Med, thank you for subscribing for 16 months. Vera. Hello, welcome in. Thank you for 16 months. It's a big time. Welcome, welcome. We are playing Gay New Zealand, the video game. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, it's fine. I don't mind. Just forget that you think it's
Need more
interesting.
V's. I forgot a few. Sorry about that. That should probably be enough. More than worth it. Aw, thanks. Good to have you. They turned New Zealand woke. Shake my head, right? Shake my damn head. And it flies now, too. I don't know if those are related or not. Gay people are full of helium, and therefore New Zealand now flies. That's what happened. That's probably what happened. That makes sense to me. V. There's your one more.
I hope someday you understand why. Maybe you'll hear a story that resonates with you and makes you want to know more, or get to know that person better.
Aspen has... This is like the third time she's done this. She pokes me in the side with her pen. Damn, Aspen. You're talking to a brick wall, though. She's not going to get it.
Like me, when I met you.
Still oblivious.
I guess that makes sense. Like when I talked to you and Juliet.
Juliet, perhaps. Even I don't know much about her life before she came to Welly.
Stabs with
And
him
even that
cutely.
is
Yeah,
fuzzy.
exactly. Came to Welly.
And you?
I know this makes me sound like a hypocrite, but there really isn't much to say about my past.
To be fair, your past is like, what, 20-ish years? As opposed to like 200 or whatever. I can't remember how old Juliet is.
For one thing, I don't have nearly as many years as you two.
Yeah, we're old timers. We're grandmas.
But also, I had a boring, normal childhood in a boring, normal town. I went to a boring, normal school for a while before I moved out here, hoping for a change of pace. But now I live a boring, normal life, just in a different city.
I'll bet I wouldn't think it's boring. I don't even know what a normal town and normal school are like.
Skill issue. Pretty much. Hello, Drynap. It's great to see you. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Is this what we do in the shadows to be in? Close enough, right? Yeah, they just swapped all of them out with the new lesbian anime cast of What We Do in the Shadows 2.0. That's what it is. No, they're not vampires though. There's only one vampire. The main character is a fox who got a magic. I assume it's either this like paper she has or these beads, but she got them from a traveler hundreds of years ago, and now she can be human. and she has like a curse where people forget her if they don't encounter her in like 24 hours or something. Um, and she's a regular ass human. And then Juliet, who owns the library, is the vampire. Hello, Liquid Tendril. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Lots of people showing up. As long as there's no swear wolves, right? God, I need to watch the show for what they do in the shadows. I love the movie a lot. And I was like a little concerned that they were making a show of it until I realized that the show was just made by the same people as the movie. I thought it was going to be like, you know how sometimes you just get those weird Western reboots? Well, I think that was a Western reboot, but it was a Western reboot with the same New Zealand cast making it. So I assume the show is pretty decent. You love it? Yeah. Now I need to watch. I love the movie. I've seen the movie like 4 times. I've heard the show's great. You need to watch it too. We should watch that in Discord sometime. That'd be a good one. When do they start kissing? It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. She very much she's landed on pretty heavy though, not gonna lie. Remember when Netflix tried to make Cowboy Bebop? Yeah, I never ended up watching it. I just saw the scene with Ed and was like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. That's fine. I'm out. I think it was funny. Someone was showing off like the album for the soundtrack. It was like the record for the Netflix Cowboy Bebop show. And the entire thing is covered in art from the anime. And it says down in the corner, based from the Netflix show, live action show. But they wouldn't even like put the actual show on the record because they knew nobody would buy it if that was the case, which was hilarious. I've seen okay, Netflix Death Note. I will list the pros and cons of Netflix Death Note. Willem Dafoe as Ryuk was pretty awesome. Everything else is a con. That was a terrible reimagining of a show. They could not have messed that one up worse.
Good morning.
The guest, a red-haired human, looks surprised. I don't think we've met her.
Oh, hello. Wasn't aware there was anyone working this early.
Or him? No, I don't think we've met. I don't think we've met them before.
I'm just helping out today. But Miho here is the library's new daytime caretaker.
Hi there.
I wave, but I'm not sure if there's anything else I'm supposed to say. Luckily, Aspen seems to have it covered.
Let us know if there's anything we can do to help.
Cool. Congrats, Miho. I'm just here to browse. Thanks, though.
Enjoy!
She gives him a bright smile as he walks in and heads to the books before taking her seat again.
Good job!
Good job.
Thank you. Why don't you greet the next guest?
Oh, I'm on a tangent again just because I keep getting distracted. Apparently, these guys are, I like the studio. We'll probably play more games from them in the future. But they're doing like a Kickstarter thing right now, and the whole point of the Kickstarter is to make physical copies of their game, which is cool as a collectible, but also I'm broke and I don't need to necessarily buy CD-based games for my computer that doesn't have a CD drive in it. But it is cool that they're doing that. I like the idea of moving into an era of by default games being digital and then you just get the special editions of the things you think look pretty. I think that's a good step in the right direction. But again, they need to make games cheaper because it's like, don't charge the same thing if we're not buying a physical copy because you're swindling us a little bit on that.
Do
His
I
name is
have
First
to
Visitor.
do that for everyone who
Always be a
comes in?
cool girl in the grade above me burned me a CD version. Exactly. And it was cool because they have like 2 different versions. There's like a DVD case version and a jewel case version. It's like, yeah, the jewel case version, 100%. Just to have it would be cool. On the cheap. Hell yeah.
No, but a smile and greeting never hurt. Although we'll have to keep the volume down.
Yeah, well, okay. No, I don't think physical media should be like fully not an option. Because yeah, there are times and places where it makes sense. But a lot of places you don't need that to be a priority. But if you're very far off the grid, those are probably places where you need to have like more physical options available to people.
Right.
Just for you specifically, that might be a little bit harder of a sell. The door opens again and a pair of twin dryads enters. I stand up, my legs feeling just a little shaky. Oh, one of those dryads is the boy that the cute bird girl likes. I'm pretty sure.
Hi! Let us know if we can help.
Also, cute bird girl is our friend, but not really, because we keep not talking to her within a 24-hour time span, and she forgets we exist because that's our life. Which makes this game kind of weird, because, like, if we spend more than a day without interacting with Aspen or Juliet, they're just going to forget we exist in every single memory we've had together, which is a little awkward for the longevity of things. When you live somewhere where the grid is off the grid. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, I haven't been that far off the grid ever. I've been off the grid a little bit, but not, like, far, far. Neither of them speak, but they both smile graciously and nod in acknowledgement as they passed by us.
See? That wasn't so bad, was it?
No, but so far no one's needed any help.
True. Let's see who we get next.
You don't have to wait long. A breathless man carrying a stack of books staggers his way over to us.
Do you work here? Can you check these in for me? I'm running late as it is. Thanks!
Mark. Before we can even answer, he drops his books on the desk and then hurries back out the door.
I wonder why he was in such a rush.
No clue, but I respect him still taking the time to drop off his returns. Do you want to start writing them down?
Yes, I know how to read the words on the pages.
Sure.
Taking a deep breath, I grab the top book and a pen. The title isn't too long, fortunately. Can you imagine having to transcribe things for a living and you don't know how to read? That would be awful. That'd be very awful. I've done that before, actually, come to think of it. There was a time when, for a job, I had to organize a bunch of CDs, a bunch of DVDs, rather, or Blu-rays, I guess. And I had to keep a log of them. And fun story, like the last few weeks of that job, when I was doing that job, it was like 70% in Chinese. I don't know Chinese. So I was just kind of like copying down Chinese characters onto like CDs and data tables by hand because it's like, I don't know how to do this on a computer. You're going to get a physical list and I'm just going to copy this stuff over. It was fine. It got the job done. It's what they needed. But like, really awkward trying to keep inventory when you can't speak the language. I had to do that at the used game CD Blu-ray store. Yeah, same kind of thing. This was just like the office version of that, basically.
Hello, welcome.
Oh, sorry. Slowly, I start copying the letters down. First a curve, then a straight line, then a loop, then an arch. I didn't even hear the door open this time. As more and more people start to come in, Aspen and I both end up pretty busy. The pile of books that need to be checked in grows fast, and I have to start taking some of them back to the shelves as I go, just to make space. By using a little chart with the alphabet and numbers on it, I'm able to slowly match the labels on each book to their spot on the shelves. As the library gets busier, though, I start making some educated guesses about where certain books belong and putting them with others that look similar. I can fix it later if I have to.
Miho, could you give me a hand, please?
Over at the desks, the line of people has gotten pretty long. I have no idea what all these people normally did when there wasn't anyone to help them. Panic. Cry. I shove the rest of the stack I'm carrying into an empty shelf and hurry over to help. After finishing with one guess, she hands me a few handwritten notes with label numbers on them.
Can you go find these? I think one was returned today, so it might not be on the floor yet.
I'm distracted again. Netflix Death Note and Netflix Bebop reminded me. How do people feel about Netflix One Piece so far? Because I am still a novice of the One Piece, and I'm trying to play catch up from like episode 50, because there's a million of them. But people seem to think that one's at least cast pretty well. Different directors involved too, so obviously it's not going to be consistent across the board. You didn't know it exists? Yeah, Netflix is doing like a One Piece. People seem to think they cast it pretty well. That being said, good casting doesn't mean shit if your writing is awful. So that's a thing. It's a huge whatever, but the creator is involved. Okay, that's very reassuring if the creator is involved. So that's a positive.
Also, these ones were checked out in the wrong name, so they need to be corrected on the sheet.
Uh-oh.
These 3 here are going to be picked up later, but we've been asked to pull them ahead of time, so make sure not to get them mixed up with the others.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure. Maybe.
Got it.
Yes.
Maybe.
Just, yeah.
You've got this.
I can read and I can't keep track of instructions like that. I mean, I can kind of read. I can borderline read and my reading comprehension level is playing this game. That's where I'm at. You heard the Death Note creator actually liked the Netflix movie? Well, he has bad tastes, honestly. It was a bad adaptation. I mean, aside from the fact that, like, they changed the premise to make it like America or whatever, the characters just weren't good. This wasn't good at all. Death Note author was a pretty fucking weird person. Probably. Death Note's a weird series, honestly. I liked when they made the Shut Up and Sleep With Me song, and it was about Al and Light being handcuffed together and fighting. That was pretty funny. That was a good AMV. Hello, Higa. Welcome in. Welcome. Good to see you. You heard they changed everything, but you plan on watching it at some point? Oh, yeah. They changed... they changed almost everything. Like I said, Ryuk was good. Ryuk was the one thing I thought was decent about the entirety of that. With a little cheer, she goes back to assisting people. I watched for just a moment. She's clearly in her element here. Even with the line growing longer, Aspen doesn't seem to be getting nervous. I can't say the same about myself, though. There's no time to waste. Yeah, you're not missing out, Ika. Thank you. Yeah, I did the best I could with them. Being stuck within the limitations of Vroid, you can't do quite as much, but you make it work. If I modeled myself, they'd probably be a little more, they'd be angled slightly different, but I was kind of limited. I should just take this into Blender and try to adjust it, but whenever I adjust things in Blender, I break the animations because I don't know how to use Blender. I bounce around the library trying to find the books Aspen wrote down. It takes a while, and I get the instructions mixed up a few times, but eventually I manage to track them all down. When I bring them up to the desks, the stack of returns has gotten almost as tall as I am, so I start checking them in as quickly as I can. Meanwhile, Aspen has moved around to the front to give me more space to write and work. I still need to watch the first season of Love, Death, and Robots. I didn't know there were multiple seasons. Yeah, I heard it was pretty good.
All right, let's see.
New art! I grab the top book and start to copy, then the next, and then the one after that. Before long, they all start to blend together, and the letters seem to swirl and move around on the page. I like this one. They are in 2 very different headspaces. I mean, kind of similar. We got stress and we got panic, but it's like happy stress. And I'm going to die here. What the hell is any of this? Panic. Miho is a blue LED. Okay, sure. I'll go with that. Those spectacles are so gay. I have glasses just like that. I mean, that still checks out, so you're not wrong, but I do have glasses just like that. Actually, 2 pairs, because I lost my first pair, and then I bought a new pair. I mean, the frames are thicker on mine. They're still the big circles, but I have thicker frames. One has big yellow frames, and the other has big orange frames. But they're just giant, oversized circle glasses, because you gotta. It's the only way. All you guys that boring normal stress, gross. A lot of people in them and cannot stand them. And what? Oh, we just got a raid by Redundant Toast. I don't know why my alerts aren't going off, but hello, Redundant Toast. Thank you for the raid. What were you up to today? You're playing Castle Crashers. I have not played that game in a very, very long time. They re-released that at some point, or maybe a couple times. I haven't played it since it was new, but I assume there's like a newer version of it out there. But yeah, welcome in, welcome. Let me give you the big shout out. Hold on. Welcome in. We are playing Please Be Happy, which is a fantasy visual novel about a fox girl in Skye, New Zealand, trying to be a human girl and get a girlfriend. Your girlfriend and you were playing together for date night. Oh, awesome! That sounds fun. That's a great multiplayer game. I don't know if I'd want to play that single player, but like it's really, really far up there on multiplayer. Also, it's got like a lot of characters. I remember when I played that back in the day, you just like unlock a new character constantly, and there were like 30 different. Because like you have the basic knights, but then they just kept throwing more at you. It was good though. I like Behemoth art in general. I don't know what they're up to these days. Have they made anything recently? There you go. Go follow Redundant Toast if you're not already. But yeah, I hope you guys had a very fun time playing. Bum, bum, bum. You see a lot of people in them and cannot stand them. Ika, I've got big glasses like that. Bu- bu- Do, 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 do. You don't know if they have. Okay. Yeah, so we just started our first day working. This is the main character. The fox is the one with the ears. Surprise, surprise. We just started our first day working in the library. The library is owned by the vampire. The vampire is the one who caught us because we were trying to steal from the vampire. And she's like, that's okay, come live in my library. And she offered us a job because she's like, if you're just going to be here, you might as well work. And we are like, okay. Meanwhile, we don't know how to read, so it doesn't make working in a library very good. I don't mean to pick on anyone. It's a new look, and you're an old curmudgeon. I don't think it's a very new look. I think it's an old look that hasn't been popular in a very long time. I think the laser eye surgery soon, because even glasses aren't doing their thing. So, oh, that sucks. Well, hopefully laser eye surgery does the trick, but that's a bummer. Yeah, sometimes it just kind of escalates. I'm determined to push through it, though, even if it takes me forever, which at this rate, it just might. Reminds you of the frames your grandmother would wear. So okay, so funny funny story. I have the large circle frames in orange, but they're kind of thicker framed, but they're the big circle frames. And then the other ones have yellow frames, but they're translucent yellow. So I got both your bases covered. I got this on lockdown. Almost makes you think of Scully from X-Files. I don't remember what Scully looks like. It's been so long since I've seen that. That show scared me. I was terrified of that show. Didn't they like bring it back like a couple years ago or something? This game's weirdly quiet right now. I think there just isn't music right now. Because we're in a library, it's quiet here, that's why. Those seem like they'd be an asshole to keep clean. Yes. And then you just stop trying. And you just adjust to the fact that they're not always super clean. Because they look super, super fashionable. And you feel cool wearing them. If Aspen weren't here, I don't know what I'd do, or what I'd even do tomorrow on my own. I can worry about that later, though. For now, I have to keep doing the best I can. She doesn't usually work in the library. She's just helping out today on her first day. She normally works in the coffee shop. She's a regular human, as opposed to the person who owns the library who's asleep right now, who's a vampire. So there you go. Your eyebrows would just make the entire top 1/3 just gross all the time you feel. Eyebrows do that? I don't really have much in the way of eyebrows. I mean, they're there, but they're like flat. They don't really stick out at all. They don't really, yeah, no, my eyebrows don't really, they're big, but like, they don't really overlap much. And they cover up the whole face. That's the best part. They're like goggles for your eyes. Which goggles are technically goggles for your eyes, but also they're like glasses for your eyes. Or goggles. Chunky frame. But Aspen and I keep going, and eventually we do start to get things under control and keep the chaos to a minimum. It's tough work, but not too tough. Maybe Aspen was right about something. The more I try, the more I feel like I can do this. Yeah, no. Maybe that might be it, honestly. I mean, this conversation started with you being like, those are super gay glasses. And I'm like, wait a second. Oh, no, you're right. I have those too. Old Scars and New Friends, Chapter 3. Oh, this is cute. This is very different art style for this one, but I like it. Oh, wait. I forgot to have my... I forgot to add the dog to the stream. Damn it. Hold on. Do I still have the dog picture? I need to add it in here. Can't believe I'm so unprepared that I left the dog off this stream. Let me get another one. Oh, you like the glasses on the girl in the game? Which glasses are you talking about? I think the closest I could show you to my actual glasses are, I can't just... Sucrose Genshin Impact. That's the closest to that, what I actually wear. These are my, wait, those actually don't go around in a full circle, do they? No, that's not even quite the same either. Is there a character who has glasses on mine? These are close. They're just the same as in the game, but with, like, thick plastic frames. So that they do, in fact, cover up a crap ton of space. But you feel cool. Like you're wearing goggle glasses. And, you know. Aviators for sunglasses. Aviators are cool. Aviators are always cool. Hold on. I need to re-download a picture because I should have had it here and I didn't, and I'm a disgrace. So let me just fix this real quick. Screenshotting things on my computer. Now they're screenshotted. Now we can save them. Now we save the image to the folder. And the image is saved in the folder. And it's saved now. That is good. Add it to the stream. My downloads folder is huge, so it needs a second to load. Not as bad as my picture folder. That one takes like 20 minutes. There we go. Can't play this game and not have our friend here to keep us company. It's very important. Perfect. Okay. Oh my god, I love that. I love that. What the frick? Do you have like a thing that produces those or something? Because that's like the... Yeah, you may absolutely, Link. Go for it. That's like the artwork you did. The animated portrait, but you have it like turned into pixel art. Is there like a website that translates those? That's neat. Googled how to do it. Okay. Let's see. Let me look at these glasses. Oh, those are big, big. Oh, those are... Okay, those are, like... Mine are big, but those are big, big. That's impressive. Big, big glasses, yeah. Oh, holy shit. Those are huge. Those are huge. They'd be fun to wear, though, not gonna lie. They're definitely silly. But they would be fun to wear. I have a picture of Sucrose saved. The Sucrose ones are pretty close to what I've got. I think I have that in my transparencies, right? There's a Sucrose in here. Or there's not. Or you're just not gonna type for some reason. Yeah, see, these glasses are pretty close to mine, except they go all the way around instead of stopping part way. But that's like the same size as what I wear. But in bright colors, because they're cool. Thank you, Sucrose. Actually, you can hang out too. I'll just make you little. There you go. You can hang out next to the homophobic dog over here and be besties. And just judge us all from the corner. It always takes confidence. Unfortunately, confidence is attractive. Okay. Back to video game. Old Scars and New Friends begin Chapter 3. Why is this not fitting in the window
Have a nice
properly?
day.
Thanks. You too.
The kind old man takes his book under his arm and shuffles out of the library. A whoosh of cool air passing over me as the door opens and shuts.
Whew. Finally, time for a break.
Break time. Whenever why did that come back to mind? Did anyone ever play, was the game just called XXXY? There's like a weird DS rhythm game, not rhythm game, DS minigame collection, where it was just like, the people were like blacked out silhouettes wearing clothing, and then you would do a bunch of like weird little mini games to try to impress the girl. It was like a launch game, I think. But they say break time and have like little random one-shot poses of characters in between or something. I don't know. It just came back to me all of a sudden. With no one else waiting to be helped, I glance around at the dozen or so people milling about before plopping myself down onto the cushion that Juliet set up for me behind the desk. Who knew that work would be such hard work? It's right there in the name. You probably could have put two and two together. These past few weeks since I started helping out at the library have been a bit of a blur. Oh, you've been there a while. There's always so much to do. So we jumped ahead quite a bit between chapters. At least most of it's pretty easy, like straightening out furniture or putting things away when they get left out. I don't know what the big deal is. I think it looks better when it's a little messy. But it's what Juliet asked me to do, so I do it. Feel the magic XYXX, that's it. Yep, that's the title. I think it was just like a launch title because minigames are a great way to show off touchscreens because they're new and fancy and everyone's excited about them. You win, you did it. Talking to patrons, Aspen taught me that word, is getting easier as well. The first few times someone came up to me for help, I was so nervous that I could barely speak. There's so much to remember and still so much to learn. I still don't like talking to people in general, but it feels easier now. I get a little anxious when I see someone walking up to the counter, but it's not too bad. Of course, everyone who comes up thinks it's my first day there. Even though I've started to recognize some of the regulars, they never recognize me because of the curse. Aspen's the only one who comes by every day. Because yeah, if the people don't come there every day like clockwork, they're gonna forget she exists because of magic reasons. What I didn't expect was that the hardest part would be checking out books to people. There's a sheet of paper with a bunch of little boxes in them, and I'm supposed to write the names of each person and the books they're taking. Since I have to copy the letters by hand each time, it takes me a while. If someone has a lot of books or ones with really long titles, then it takes me even longer. Sometimes people get a little impatient, but I'm going as fast as I can. Either way, it makes the days go by faster. I wouldn't really call it fun, but I don't hate it either. Having a bit of money that I earned, rather than stole, feels surprisingly good too. At least I don't have to worry about someone trying to take it back. I hear the front door open again and look up to greet the new person. Like Juliet taught me. It turns out to be a very familiar face. My nerves settling a little at the sight of her.
Hey, Miho. Hi, Aspen.
Oops, sometimes I forget I'm not supposed to be loud here.
Hi, Aspen.
Hi. I say it again, but quiet. She comes up to the desk and sets down a couple books that she just checked out a few days ago.
Whoa. Done already?
Nerd.
One of them I simply couldn't put down because I had to know how the story ends. I was worried it would have a sad conclusion, but the ghost girl becomes real and gets to stay with her girlfriend, and they all live happily ever after.
I wonder if that's a reference to something that I Maybe. Maybe.
The other book was unreadable, unfortunately. I won't be trying that author again.
That's too bad. Should I tell Julia we can get rid of this one?
Well, it's not that terrible. I'm sure someone out there could enjoy it, just not me.
Some people have bad taste, that's all.
If you say so.
It seems to me like if Aspen doesn't like a book, then that book must be really, really bad. Maybe I'll ask Juliet about it later anyway. For now, though, I start copying the title down onto the returns sheet, while Aspen goes off to find new books. She comes back right as I'm finishing up with a small stack in her hands.
You find books as fast as you finish them.
If only. I knew exactly what I was looking for this time.
She hands me the pile and I begin writing the names down. I can feel her watching me as my hand makes each slow line. And then I click on the Imgur link. When I click on the Imgur link, it opens slowly on my screen in front of the game. Chat can't see what's going on, but I can see, so I narrate it to everybody. MC Ride with googly eyes gif is very ridiculous looking. Very, very silly, very large eyes. What a funny fella. I return to the game.
Say, Miho.
I have to finish the letter I'm working on before I can pay attention to Aspen.
Yeah?
Have you,
Learned a word of English? Nah. She wrings her hands, looking like she's not sure how to ask her question. Aspen seems to think she's either going to ask us if we learned English, or if we suddenly have feelings for her, because she's been laying it on really heavy. Aspen seems to think a lot before she speaks, so I've learned that sometimes it's easier to just make her spit it out.
Just say it. I don't mind.
Sure enough, her eyes widen, but she stops fidgeting.
Have you ever considered learning to
Okay,
read
it was that one.
and write? It would probably save you quite a bit of time.
No gay yet. We'll get there. It's fine. I look down at the mess of scribbles on the paper in front of me. Even though I wrote them, they don't mean anything to me. Juliet never seems to have an issue, though, so it's good enough for me.
Not really. I've gotten by fine without it so far.
Oh, come on. You can't keep using that excuse for everything. You've been here for more than a month now.
Well...
He does have a point there. I told myself so many times that I was going to stop letting my past define me. But still, reading and writing? It would be useful, it's true. With so many letters, though, it seems like a lot of work, and I'm already doing a lot of work as it is.
I don't even know how to start doing that.
I'd be happy to help you, and I'm sure Juliet would too. She'd be delighted if you picked it up.
Her usually quiet voice starts to raise, only adding to my doubts.
I'll think about it, I guess.
She wasn't going to think about it.
No, I won't take no for an answer. I'll do some research when I get home and bring some materials later. We can make a lesson plan and a schedule and...
Whoa. Don't I get any say in this?
She did not get any say in this. I love the Australian English. It makes me happy.
You didn't say no, and that's enough for me.
Reading is for nerds. So true.
Oh, but that isn't what I came here to talk to you about.
Aren't you here to get books?
No.
Right, that too. But anyway...
Aspen reaches into her purse and pulls out a slightly crumpled flyer, which she hands to me. Looking at the glossy cover, it's covered in pictures of little vases and statues and other old-looking things.
There's an exhibition at Te Papa about Korean history and culture, for a limited time only.
Okay. That could be informative. She's a Korean fox. That's where she came from originally. I don't know how long since she's been there, but like, when she was a fox, she was Korean. I mean, she's still Korean, but she's been hopping around the world from country to country for quite a while now. Samsung Fox. Is Samsung Korean? Actually, don't know. That makes sense. That would make sense, yeah. I thought you might be interested in seeing it, she says. Okay.
An exhibit at your dad?
No, it's our biggest museum. Te Papa is one of the most interesting places in Wellington, perhaps even New Zealand as a whole.
She knows some Spanish, at least. Oh, that's worth something. Conversational language understanding is plenty good enough.
You can enter for free, so that isn't a concern. Look, there's even a
Hey,
map
Papa,
of how
your
to get
dad.
there on the back.
It's a good language joke. I like that. After I flip the flyer over, she points to a map of Wellington that's very similar to the one I used on my first day here.
This is the Bell House, so you just go up this road, turn here, then here.
I nod as she explains, but it isn't really necessary. I may not be able to read, but I can at least use a map.
Anyway, it's only open when I'm at work, so I won't be able to join you.
Oh.
But I imagine you might appreciate having some time to yourself, too.
Now that you mention it... Yeah...
Mount Taranaki is the coolest place in New Zealand, though. Do you mean physically coolest, or coolest as in it's neat? It's been a long time since I've really had a moment to myself, other than when I go to bed. I'm always around Aspen or Juliet or the patrons at the library. That's another big change in me. I'm noticing them more and more these days.
I'll check it out. Thanks.
It has snow, so
Maybe
both
they'll
nice.
have something that can help
I do
me
like
find
snow.
my person.
Aspen smiles, but it's a thin smile, like she's once again holding back from saying something. This time, however, she doesn't give me a chance to make her say it.
Perhaps, yes. Right, well, I need to get back to work. My break will be over soon. I just wanted to pick these up so I have something to read during any downtime at my shift. I'll see you this evening after I look up some reading resources. Tell Juliet I said hello.
Will do. Bye.
Teaching her to read is going to end up backfiring because she's going to realize that, like, Aspen's been checking out, like, saucy romance novels this entire time. That's what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen, but I'm going to pretend. Oh shoot, I skipped something. I don't know how to read the backlog. With a smile, Aspen blows a kiss, then quickly spins around and heads out the door, leaving me standing about with the flyer in my hands. She blew a kiss. We missed the kiss! I accidentally skipped the kiss, but she blew a kiss. We're making progress. It's good. What could this mean? I don't know. Without any patrons waiting around, I take a closer look at some of the artifacts on the page. Most are cracked and worn with age, but still have a little color to them. A couple having writing on them that I can tell is different language from the one I've been getting used to copying here. Probably means she wants to be friends, yeah. That makes sense. She's been really, really leaning into, like, what if we were, like, friends? And if you say it multiple times, that means you're even better friends. She's been leaning into that all game. More so than Juliet has. I'm not sure if we made an option at some point in time to hang out with one or the other. I mean, I like Aspen, so I might have, but I can't remember. Because we do make options in the game, but a lot of them have been hanging out with other people in town. So I'm not really sure what determines the route you end up on. Because I don't think we have a route with the random fisher guy, or with the bird girl who clearly is interested in the dryad and not us. Or the mom, and then her kid who has like a Pokemon for a friend. I don't think any of those are actual things. I mean, they're stories, but they're not like main story routes, and that's been the main point where we've been like choosing things. In a way, they seem kind of familiar. Not just familiar, but nostalgic. Like they're related to a memory that's just out of reach. I don't know if it'll bring me any answers, but maybe there'll be something interesting to see.
Hiya. I've got these to check out, please.
I quickly tucked the pamphlet into one of my pockets, turning to greet the young boy eagerly waiting at the counter with several books to check out.
You got it!
I lift the first book off the stack and slowly begin my process. Maybe Aspen's lessons won't be so bad after all. Closing time finally comes around, the patrons slowly trickling out. Some of them linger for a while, making their final selections before bringing them up to the counter. Fortunately, Juliet's here to help me, or it'd take me all night to get through the line of people waiting.
Thank you very much, Miss Callahan. We'll see you next time. Oh, Dottie. Glad to see you're still reading Pullman. Only one left to go in the series. Bye-bye, Abdul. Bye-bye, Jamar.
In the time it takes me to finish writing down one person's checkouts, Juliet can get through 5. She even knows everyone by name, as well as their reading habits. That always impresses me. How does she keep track of them all? We finally manage to get through everyone, a sigh of relief escaping as the last patron heads out.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you know what? Aspen's been laying it on pretty heavily, but, to be fair, Juliet did decide we can come live in her house for free. And she feeds us every day. So that's something. They reading Golden Compass? Is that who that is? I guess so. My ears prick up at the sound of Aspen's voice as the patron holds the door open for her.
Sorry, we're closed.
What if both? What do you mean, what if both? Both routes? I don't think you can do both routes. It's illegal. I mean, it's not, I don't know what the actual legality of is, but that's not how the game is structured. Aspen hesitates for a moment as she walks up to the desk, but then she laughs.
You almost had me for a moment.
I collapse onto my cushion while Juliet puts everything away under the desk.
Excellent work today, Miho. You're getting better and better.
I don't think Zero Suit Samus is in this game. I think you might be mixing up a couple things.
Am I? It doesn't really feel like it.
It can be hard to notice your own progress sometimes, but I promise it's there.
And it's only going to get better. Look what I brought.
She raps her knuckles against the pile of thin books she brought with her. There's also a small bag that rattles when she moves it. Are we gonna play Scrabble?
Are those?
Scrabble?
Yes! They're the phonic books I said I'd bring by.
I hope the rattling bag is Scrabble. I like Scrabble. It's a fun game.
Phonics? Why, Miho, have you decided to learn to read?
Well, Aspen decided for me, but I guess so.
I pick up one of the books from Aspen's pile. The words on it are big and written in a very simple style, and so are the pictures that go along with it. I've spent enough time in the library now to recognize that these kind of books are meant for little kids. But I guess that's what I need, isn't it? It's embarrassing, but maybe I can just use that as motivation to learn faster. And if I end up hating it, I can just quit. Like always, I have the option of running away from something I don't like. Still, holding the book, I look up to see Juliet and Aspen both watching me, waiting to see what I'll say. I take a deep breath and then smile.
So, how do I start?
Both of them break into a grin as well.
I have just the thing. Come with me.
I realize I haven't eaten tonight, so I think I'm gonna go grab like some grapes out of the fridge real quick, and then I'll be right back in like a minute. But we're at about 2 hours, so maybe we'll just take 5 and call it a break. call it an intermission. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're literally all I have. Buying food is hard. But yeah. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll play for another 30 minutes to an hour or so, probably. Again, not a super long stream today, but I could probably go for another hour. That should be fine. Alright. I will see you all soon. And we're back. Hello. Also, welcome, DJ. You just got here. Yeah, no sink, only kitchen. Those grapes were mostly frozen, so they were kind of like popsicles. Fun pro food hack. If you keep your fridge very, very cold and frozen all the time, then your food won't go bad because it's frozen. Half the stuff in my fridge is always frozen. I mean, there's not much in my fridge right now, but there were frozen grapes and frozen celery. And that's food that hasn't expired or gone bad. It's big brain strategy. You are trying to happy as instructed. Good, as you should. Well, maybe game can make you happy. But welcome. Yeah, we're playing Please Be Happy. It's about girls who are roommates. And also foxes or vampires or whatever. Meat gelato. Yeah, delicious meat gelato. Also, hello Casey, welcome in. Food hack. If you keep your fridge cold enough to freeze stuff, you get to clean up soda and beer when they explode and... Oh yeah, that'd be pretty bad. Well, just don't put those in your fridge. Don't put them in the fridge and you're fine. You can always just not put them in the fridge and then put ice in them later. I'm bad at food, okay? I gotta do something to make my food not expire and rot on me. Oh, roommates with the quotes, for sure. I mean, right now we're roommates, but we're working on being roommates with the quotes. That's the end game here. Also, to apparently learn how to read, because we are hundreds of years old, and we have no literacy because we are a fox, and we never bothered to learn because we didn't feel like it. No problem. Aspen's so eager that she barely waits for Juliet and I to step out from the counter before leading us to a table beside the aisle of books. Right now we're reading children's books. It's demoralizing. Guessing that I'll be here a while, I pull up a seat while a curious Juliet hovers over my shoulder. She's the vampire. She's the main character who is a fox turned human. She is regular human who is friends with the vampire and us by ways of the vampire. That's the main cast. She sits down and begins unpacking the bags she brought onto the table, turning out to be a bunch of pens and pencils. She hands me one before placing a small workbook in front of me.
Let's start with the alphabet. Juliet, would you mind? Your handwriting is much better than mine.
Gladly.
Probably writes in ye old cursive. Realizing she's going to be a part of this, she quickly takes a seat to my other side and selects a sleek black pen. Opening the book, she brings her pen to one of the blank lines.
So, to begin with, this is the letter A.
A. That's enough lesson for one day. I think we can move on from there. The two of them take turns going through the different letters of the alphabet and showing me how to write them. Although I have a hard time remembering which is which, I pick up the writing part pretty fast, since I've had a lot of experience at work already. Yeah, she's been working in a library for the last 3 weeks, at which point they're like, you should probably know how to read English. That might be a good skill to have. It's too late, you gotta learn. They're forcing it on you. Each of them writes an example letter at the top of my page first, before I take my turn to try it. Juliet's handwriting is very precise and clean, and reminds me of something you'd see in an advertisement or book. Aspen's, on the other hand, is almost as messy as mine. Sometimes I'm not sure she's even writing the same letters as Juliet and I. Hell yeah, that's my handwriting. After we get through the whole alphabet, they quiz me by holding up cards with different letters and asking me to name them. I get a lot of them wrong, but I do get a lot of them right too. Reading Rainbow. Yeah, with the Star Trek guy. When Aspen finally calls it quits for the night, I'm a little bit disappointed.
So, how do you feel? I think you made very good progress for this being your first night.
Ah, I'm a guy. Thank you, whoever.
Yeah, you mentioned encountering talking trash. I think you did. I think one of you mentioned it a while back. I remember that. Yeah. At a thing, at an event. That's very cool. It's really cool when people get to meet up and actually meet each other. I hope I get to meet, I'm planning to potentially, hopefully, if everything works out, meet a bunch of fellow streamers in like a couple months. Hopefully. Fingers crossed it works. Doing my best anyway. But I know a lot of people are doing that this weekend, which is pretty exciting. I hope not necessarily pictures come out of it, but I hope lots of good stories come out of it. Pictures are its own issue, obviously. Rip Lance Reddick. Wait, Lance Reddick. Was that, I'm bad with names, so I have to double check. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. That was like a week ago or so? A week or two? It's pretty recent. Sounds like a potentially legendary event, that's right. You wished you were LeVar Burton. Yeah. Nah, it's a bummer. You want to meet people? Yeah! Same. I feel ya. I'm going very far out of my way to try to meet people, because most of the people I interact with live on the opposite side of the country from me, which makes it a little complicated. Also, me being stuck inside a computer doesn't help matters a whole lot, either. My body was a little more functional, it'd make things simpler, but you gotta find creative ways when you're living inside of a database. Unfortunately. Big books. Yeah.
Indeed. You should be proud of yourself, Miho.
I can't keep a little smile off my face. Maybe I am a little proud.
It was more fun than I thought it'd be. It was tough at first, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Yeah, I mean, you have your own side of the country from literally everybody else. I mean, I guess Hawaii also would be in a similar boat. But that does make it a little challenging. You put on round glasses? I was talking about this earlier. I have round glasses. Not for this model, but hold on, I'll just change. I could put on, like, two-dimensional round glasses, but I could also just change models. No, not that one. Not that one. My chroma key's not set up for that one. Oh, there we go. That'll do. Yeah, no, see, this is actually what my glasses look like offline, too. I wear the same glasses on my models that I do in real life.
You certainly are.
Because the model's what I look like in real life, obviously.
Yes, if you work on it a little bit each night, I'm sure you'll make great progress.
I'm lying. What I look like in real life is a toasted cocoon sitting in a laboratory. But you already know that much. The workbook that Aspen gave me already has a few pages complete because of how fast we were going.
Do you think I could learn to read by the end of this week?
VTuberCon, where everyone goes, but no one knows who, and we all just walk around trying to find each other. Like, just like a recognize the voice and mannerisms mystery. That'd be kind of silly. The look that the two of them exchange tells me my answer.
Well...
I do really miss cons, though. I stopped going to them when there was a pandemic thing. Might have heard about that. And I haven't gone back since. Really like to, though. They're fun.
Not that quickly, I'm afraid. Even for the fastest learners, it still takes a few months to make much progress in reading. Going by how quickly you picked this much up, though, I think you'll do just fine.
Because foxes are smart.
Oh, I see.
I've been expecting this to take a few nights at most, but months? It's a lot longer than I was anticipating. I must look disappointed because Aspen frowns and leans forward.
Don't worry, I'm sure that time will fly by. As long as you're getting a little better every day, you'll be able to notice the results soon.
Yeah.
Here, why don't you try this?
My arms are like weirdly out to my side on this model. Hold on, I gotta fix that. It's gonna drive me insane. There we go, it's better. I overcorrected. One day I'll have arm tracking too, it'll be awesome. Just you wait and see. You're still really picky about what events you're going to? Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand. That's why I haven't gone to any yet. Like, a lot of my favorite events have been back for a couple of years now. Or at least a year for some. Maybe going on 2 for some of them. But, like, Fanime is one of my favorite events in the world. But also, I don't... As much as I love crowds. I'm someone who loves crowds. I love being surrounded by people. I also love not catching illnesses of any sort. And I get sick very easily. Like anything will make me sick. So when there's like major concern for things making you sick, you don't really want to like put yourself into it. If I was someone who had, like, a better immune system or something, then yeah, sure. I'd be right back on top of it. But I'm not, so it's like, ugh. But I miss it so much. Also, room parties. Those are the best. Aspen gets up from the desk and maneuvers behind me, putting her hand on top of mine. It's a little shaky, and I notice her face is red as she makes a point not to look at me. Just lick more Pollock doorknobs and you'll be super immune in no time. Or dead. You know what? 50-50 odds, might as well try, see what happens. I almost jerk it away out of instinct, but keep my cool instead. I'm not used to people touching me, but I know that with Aspen, it's just a friendly gesture. Between 2 friends. 2 friends who are friends and only friends. Because what else would they be if they weren't just friends, being friendly?
Here, follow these lines.
That's the nervousness of a friend being a friend. She gently guides my hands up and down across the page, slowly forming the letters on the page with me. After 4 letters, she stops and scurries back to her chair. Juliet's snort of amusement from my side only confuses me further. Friendly friends, you're my best friend, yeah.
Can you read what that says?
She's really the least subtle person in the world, but Miho's also an idiot, so, you know. Homies kissing homies goodnight. Well, that's just good manners, honestly. I look down. The words on the page look familiar. I squeeze my eyes shut, picturing the cards that they were holding up and what each letter sounded like.
Me.
Mummy, mummy, mo, ma, ma, mi, mia, ma.
Miho!
That makes more sense. That makes a lot. That's her name. You get it. With a jolt, I realize it's my own name. DJ. Is it true? Do you never kiss talking trash goodnight? How? How dare you? She's a babu. I mean, she's actually hundreds of years old, but she's a babu, basically. Okay, see, there's an explanation. It checks out. Juliet and Aspen both clap excitedly, a blush forming on my cheeks.
Yes! You did it!
Ba, 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 ba. I still can't shake the feeling that it's kind of embarrassing to have them cheer me on for something so simple. Looking down at the paper with my name on it, though, I have to smile a little, too. This is the first time I've written my own name. Even if I did have Aspen's help, it's the first time I've read it myself, too. I stare at it intently, committing the shape of those letters and the motions to make them into my memory. I've used so many names in my life, but for some reason, this one feels a bit special. Just for good measure, I write it down a few more times to practice. Each time it gets a little bit less shaky and more legible.
Thank you. Seriously.
Even if this wasn't my idea to start with, it feels like a new milestone in my life already. The start of something else that's new. I can add this to the list.
It's our pleasure.
Right. Especially since, I did kind of force you into it.
It's okay. Turns out I need people to make me do stuff sometimes.
I'm certainly good at that. You'll have to wait until tomorrow for more, though. I've already stayed a bit too late as it is.
Oh my, I hadn't even noticed the time. It sure did fly by, didn't it?
As she gets up to leave, Juliet and I take to our feet as well. Before realizing it, I let out a yawn.
I'll leave all this stuff with you, Miho, so you can study at your own pace. I'll try to come by at nights as well to help you practice.
And you're always welcome to ask me for advice too.
Thanks. I'm gonna practice during work too, when I don't have anything else to do.
Justin. It's been less sensitive for some reason. It's not picking up my mouth movements as well. How do you get 2 GFs? Because she gets 2 GFs because she tried to rob a 7-Eleven and then steal a painting. And the 7-Eleven went fine, but the painting didn't. And it's like, oh no, you tried to steal a keepsake and an angry vampire. JK, lol, she likes you. Everything's fine. That's why.
That sounds wonderful. Good night, you two. Thanks for having me over.
Bye,
You're welcome.
Aspen!
Bye, Aspen.
Good night, Aspen. We'll see you soon.
With her trademark smile and wave, Aspen leaves the library. The two of us watch her go as she heads out into the night's darkness outside.
I imagine you must be tired too, right?
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
now that you mention it, I really am.
My hands are sore from all the writing, and my palm is colored gray with smeared pencil lead and ink. Yeah, it happens a lot. That's the worst thing about writing, is then your hand is covered in graphite, and you're like, why is half my hand pure black? Because you're just, like, dragging your hand through, like, graphite everywhere. I don't know if that's an everyone thing. It might just be the way I write. I'm left-handed, though. I think left-handed people do that more. We write stupid. Can't help it. You're taught to write stupid. Rob 7-Eleven get GF. Exactly. That's the process.
Can't believe that wore me out.
You had a full day of work too. You should get some rest. I'll finish cleaning up and preparing for tomorrow.
It's very evil.
Are you sure? I didn't really do many of my chores today.
I'm certain. Go on, go to bed.
You use a left-handed hold with your right hand, and everything you draw looks like it was dragged through a dirt factory. Well, there you go. Because I do think there is a different way people tend to hold a pencil when they write left-handed than what people typically do when they write right-handed. But I see no reason why some people who are right-handed wouldn't write holding the pencil in a similar manner. Drag through a dirt factory isn't aesthetic, though, honestly. I've gotten to the point where, like, all of my stuff kind of has that sort of look, too, though. And I've gotten to the point where when I'm doing, like, pencil and paper illustrations, eraser is my most valuable tool. Because I just take advantage of the fact that I smudge the hell out of the entire page. And I'm just like, great, now I can do the shading, but I don't do the shading, I just do the lighting. Because, all the shading is already on the page because I already got the pencil everywhere. Try drawing with one of those metal pens. Metal pens. Oh, I mean, I've drawn with a ballpoint pen a lot. I wouldn't think it'd be that different. Unless you mean like a inkwell metal pen. Metal pens don't smudge. Oh. Some of them do. Depends on the kind of metal pen. I'm not sure. You might be talking about a specific one. Dude, I cannot use inkwell pens, though. The ones where you actually have to, like, dip them in the ink. Can't do that at all. Can't make that work for me. Secretly glad to be heading to bed rather than doing more work, I start to head out. As I look back, Juliet playfully waves me out of the room.
Good night. And thanks again.
You're always welcome, Miho. Have a good night.
Juliet's really cute, but she's like just too prim and proper for me. With pause for another yawn, I stretch and head up the stairs. I'm going to sleep well tonight. Hydrate, will do. As I lie in bed and wait for sleep to take me, I reflect on my day like always. They don't use ink so they can't smudge. Oh. Yeah, now I'm just confused. Today was a good day. I accomplished a lot and I feel proud of myself. I can tell that Juliet and Aspen are proud of me too. That's taken some getting used to. It still weirds me out to think that people care about me, that they think of me even when I'm not around them. They're excited for me about things that don't affect them. And as a reminder, this is not just like, oh, everybody hates me, oh, woe is me. Like, people literally forget she exists. That's why she's not used to it. It's weird, but in a good way. Now that I think about it, it's been a while since I had a bad day. The shock and uneasiness of having a safe place to live and a stable life have worn off, and my daily routine has become just that. Routine. I thought I'd never get used to things like this. That they'd never be real for me. Well, it turns out I was wrong. Rather than constantly overthink everything, I've gotten better at just going with the flow. I think that's something to be proud of, too. Rolling onto my side, I look around my room. It hasn't changed too much since I moved in, but it still feels distinctly mine. This isn't just a space that I happen to be in. Smiling, I close my eyes and roll onto my other side. Just when I did, I become so... Just when did I become so sentimental? It's hard to say, but maybe that's okay too. I don't mind who I am right now. And my friends don't either. That's enough for me. With peaceful thoughts like that drifting through my mind, I also drift off to sleep. Work's been quiet today, with only a handful of patrons coming in at all. The few still here keep to themselves, quietly reading and browsing the aisles. I'd normally be bored on a day like this. It's a good thing that I have something new to keep me occupied during my downtime, then. A few of the worksheets and books that Aspen gave me yesterday are spread out on the desk, out of the way of our guests, but still where I can see them. Whenever I get a few minutes to myself, I practice writing letters or memorizing their sounds. When I have to write down titles that are being checked out, I pay more attention to what exactly I'm writing. I'm pleased to notice that it goes faster now than it did before. I still have a long way to go, but I can feel myself making progress with every word I finish. That sense of pride helps motivate me to keep trying. Even when I'm away from the desk, tidying things up or putting books away, I try to think about letters and words. It's nice to have something to focus on, rather than just trying to find ways to fill the hours. Just as I settle back down to work after a quick lunch, Juliet comes down from her room with a folded parasol in hand. With a calm nod of greeting, she walks up and joins me behind the desk.
Hey, you're up early.
Yes, I had some daylight errands to attend to. How are you doing, Miho?
Great! Check it out.
I show her one of my worksheets, which was really just a blank piece of paper. On it, I've written my name over and over to practice. The first few, okay, most of them are fairly messy. I think I get the hang of it by the end of the page, though, and those ones are more legible. I offer the paper to Juliet, who looks it over with a smile.
Great job! I'm very proud of you.
Thanks. I'm proud of me too.
Yeah.
What kind of errands are you running? Need any help?
Not this time. I'm just making a couple deliveries that can't wait until the evening. Will you be alright here by yourself?
Yep. I think I've got the hang of everything by now.
Pretty used to handling my duties on my own. If there ever was a problem, it wouldn't be hard to go find Juliet to get her help. That hasn't happened yet, thankfully.
Excellent. I know I've said it before, but you've been a great help around the library. I appreciate your hard
Duty.
work.
Oh, it's not that hard. Besides, it gives me something to do.
That's nice to hear. Don't forget to take some time for yourself, and have fun every now and then, though.
I think that's some advice that Juliet herself should follow more often, but I keep that opinion to myself.
I will. Actually, I'm going to the museum after this. Aspen told me there's an exhibit all about Korea going on there. So, I'm hoping maybe I'll learn something useful.
Useful?
Yeah, like about my person.
Oh, I see.
Your person from your childhood. A couple 100 years ago. Can't see how that could possibly end badly for you. Juliet gives me the same small smile that Aspen did when I mentioned my person yesterday. I know they think it's probably hopeless, but I can't give up. I don't understand how they don't understand, since both of them always talk about caring for those close to you and making lasting bonds. That probably lasts about the lifespan of an average human, which is probably less than the couple 100 years that it's been, but we're going to ignore that part. Still, Aspen and Juliet have both done too much for me to hold that against them.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck. You know you can always ask me for help if you need any.
I know. Thanks.
Anytime. I'm going to head out now, but I'll make sure to come back early enough for you to go to Te Papa.
Sounds good. I'll keep studying and working until then. Bye!
Goodbye, Miho.
Parasol. As Juliet goes out the front door, she pops her parasol open to protect her from the sun, then strolls out and joins the day's crowds. I stare at the now closed door, thinking. I wonder if either Aspen or Juliet have ever felt the same way about someone as I have about my person. It's a hard feeling to describe. It's something warm. I may have forgotten a lot over the years, but I've never forgotten their face or voice or the way they smelled. Like charcoal and paint. All those things are too important to forget. It's kept me going my whole life. Been my entire reason for existence. At least until arriving in Wellington, anyway. Even with my new life here, I can't just abandon my old one. Not entirely. Maybe they just don't know how much it means to me. I couldn't blame them, since I've told them all about how little I cared about everything else. Maybe they think it's like a hobby, something to pursue when I have nothing else to do. But even here in the library, surrounded by friends and busying myself with my job, not a day goes by where I don't think of that forest back in Korea, and my person. It's okay if Aspen and Juliet don't understand. They don't need to. It's important to me, and that's all that matters. So far, they've supported me in whatever I do. In fact, when I think about those two, I feel a similar way as when I think about my person. That warm, safe feeling. It's not exactly the same, but it's close. I don't think that's a coincidence. There have been lots of new feelings that I don't quite have words for. Like so many other parts of myself, I'm still figuring them out. That may take time, but I have plenty of it. Realizing that I've zoned out, I pull myself away from my thoughts and get back to focusing on work and studying. I may have lots of time, but I need to make sure I use it well. Only an hour or two later, I look up from my work to see Juliet returning from her errands. Holding up her parasol, she soon joins me at the front desk again.
Hello again, Miho. I tried to hurry back so you'd have plenty of time at the museum. You can go ahead and head off. I can handle the library for the rest of the day.
Cool, thanks. I tried to clean up and do as much as I could before you got back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Enjoy yourself. You'll have to tell me all about it when you get back.
Will do.
I put away my study materials in my room, and then with a big thumbs up to Juliet, leave the library.
Fresh air again.
The alleyway by the convenience store. That's not a museum. Since I've been spending so much time inside since I started working, my walks and time outside are more refreshing than they used to be. The birds singing sound prettier, the scent of food wafting up from town smells tastier, and I'll bet even the grass would feel softer if I was in my fox form to feel it. It's been a long time since I've transformed now that I think about it. I need to stay focused for today, though. With the museum as the only thing on my mind, I pick up my pace as I walk into Wellington, heading along the now familiar streets. I pass by the Bell House and glance inside, but I don't see Aspen. She mentioned she'd be working late today, so she must be in the back, or maybe on a break. I follow the directions she gave me yesterday until I reach the building that has to be my destination. It's big, with parts that go off in all different directions. It's a museum-ass museum if I've ever seen one. The front, there are two sections flanking the entrance. One is round and tan, while the other is made of darker stone and looks more blocky. It's a bit intimidating, but seeing a few people heading in and out is reassuring.
Nice.
Taking a breath to steady myself, I stride on up. The entrance has a huge glass ceiling, with glass doors that slide open when I approach them. I don't even have to pay or sneak in.
Whoa.
The moment I step inside, I can safely say that I've never been in a place like this before. It looks big from the outside, but from the inside, it's huge!
How am I gonna find the crane exhibit?
I don't even know where to look first. Different paths lead to different types of displays, and I can see floors and elevators going all the way to the top. A family walks by me, following a big arrow that points deeper into the building. Without any better ideas, I decide to take the same route. I'm sure I could ask someone where my exhibit is, but I'll look around on my own first. If I can't find it for a while, then I'll ask for help. I start to wander about once inside, looking for anything that I might recognize from Korea. To my surprise, there's plenty of other exhibits that also end up catching my eye. In one section, a variety of sea life, fish, turtles, and other, hang from wires above everything else. They look so lifelike that I think they're real animals at first, but after staring closely, I can see that they're just models. Another part of the museum is filled with skeletons of what look like giant monsters. I can't even imagine what kind of creatures they once were. Maybe dragons? Spotting a panel with some illustrations, I skip over for a quick look. They aren't dragons, but they look awfully close. I've only seen a dragon once or twice in my life, but I've never seen one of these. Other. I am the other. It's true. Maybe they got cuttlefish displays in this museum. That'd be pretty cool. Other sections are dedicated to humans and fabled civilization. Wonder if she's drowning in women. It's a good trait to have. It's a good trait. And you know that she's dumb as a rock because she's had plenty of time to get smart, but she hasn't. Nah, no time for smart. Only she has literally spent hundreds of years running around robbing whatever the current convenience store of the era is. And that's been her life. She's the perfect girl, basically. She's an immortal cursed fox girl who rides airships. Dragons are not out of the question. And that's true. I think the implication here was that there are dragons, but the things in the museum are dinosaurs. But she's unfamiliar with dinosaurs because she's never seen a dinosaur. Because she's never gone to a museum before. I go slower through this part, feeling a little nostalgic. I even recognize some of the human technology and knickknacks from long ago. I had no idea they were old enough to be part of a museum now. There's even a big memorial to the war, showing humans and fabled fighting against one another. At the front is a painting of when the peace treaty was signed, which was the start of humanity and the fabled coexisting. I was around back then, but I stayed out of it, just like I stayed out of most things. Honestly, the history doesn't interest me too much. But I'm sure Juliet would love to see this. I'm sure she already has at some point. Just when I'm thinking about giving up and asking for help, I finally find what I'm looking for. A large banner with some text that I recognize as Hangul. Hangul, I don't know if I'm saying that right. The Korean writing system is hanging over a number of display cases and tabletop exhibits. I hurry over to get a closer look. It's quieter up here than it was on some of the lower levels, so the background music faded to quiet. I'm able to take my time browsing without feeling like I'm getting in anyone's way. Knowing people, there's 100%. Yeah, but I mean, this is fiction world. It's a little different. Based off of Earth, but their history is obviously deviated quite a bit. At the same time, my heart starts to beat faster with anticipation. I may not know what I'm searching for, but I'm sure I'll know it when I see it. Hello, Rocket. Welcome in. We're at the museum, learning about the Koreas and potentially our history and our past. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the travelers just hanging out in the museum for 200 years. That's probably what happened, right? Hopefully it's what happened. How am I doing? Doing all right. Having a nice little stream. Life's been a little crazy lately, but I needed to take a break to stream because I enjoy streaming and it's fun and it makes me happy. And so we're playing Please Be Happy because it's the theme of the stream and also the name of the game. I hope you're doing well too, though. I start at the entrance and slowly make my way through. We do suck at coexisting with other people bad enough, though. It's true. The first section is full of pottery and carvings, like from the brochure Aspen gave me. Well, yeah, just stream and not life anymore is how I end up incapable of streaming because then money doesn't happen and then I can't stream as much. That's the unfortunate part. There are little animals and people carved out of stone and even a few made of metal. A number of clay pots and vases sit on pedestals next to them. Most are cracked or damaged, but some look as good as new. Moving on to the next part, there are a few intricate-looking outfits adorning mannequins. Some are just pants and a jacket, but most are vividly colored dresses that hang to the floor. I can almost feel the delicate silk in my hands. If I was still a thief, I bet these would sell for a lot. After the clothes are paintings. Tigers and birds are common subjects, but so are people and cities too. Others feature gorgeous landscapes and flowers. That's always crazy. Yeah, mine's been its own special breed of issues, but I'm not getting into that in detail on stream. Yeah, country, the systems of this country have not been very nice to me recently. I've never been a big fan of art, but somehow these are different. Looking at them doesn't make me sad, but it does make me feel something. Like I'm wanting something I can't have. Suddenly it comes to me, a feeling I've heard about, but that I don't think I've experienced before. Homesickness. A painting of a green forest should be the one where I was born. I've passed through towns that looked like those in the paintings and hid from humans who looked like the ones shown inside them. Not all the memories are good ones, but they're mine. Gotta cook. Honestly, talk later. Yeah, no, it seems like a good plan. I'm in. There's not much that I can relate to nowadays in terms of people or places. I have friends now, sure, but I don't have much in common with them. That's never mattered before, but now? I wish I could reach out and touch the paintings before me, just to feel something from the same era as me. Of course, they're behind ropes, which keep me well back. I reluctantly start to move on again. Just as I do, a certain painting catches my eye. It's small and displayed out of the way in a corner, as if nobody thought it was that important. The edges are jagged and torn, but the crucial part is still there. On one side, there's a fox surrounded by trees and leaves. Its fur is a different color than mine, but it's still clearly a fox. Just across from it is a human-like figure. She's dressed in an outfit similar to the one I was just admiring, but that's not what stands out the most to me. On her head are 2 pointy ears, and several long, bushy tails peek out from the bottom of her dress. When I look at the fox again, I notice that it also has more than one tail. I breathe in deeply, as if I could inhale the scent of the forest just from this artwork. Another Gumiho? Taking all the details I can. She's smiling, but a sharp fang makes her smile look sinister. The hand at her side has long claws instead of regular fingernails. Claws that are clearly meant for ripping. 1 fox, 2 fox, red fox, blue fox. The blue fox is dead because foxes aren't supposed to be blue. Damn. It's a magic fox, so it can get away with it. Whatever she's looking and smiling at is missing, being part of the torn section. There's just a small part that remains, a pair of boots on the ground surrounded by the edge of what must be a pool of blood. Only then do I notice the blood around her lips and on the ground beneath her claws. And then the unmistakable bone-white bead hanging from a string around her neck. It's glowing like the moon. I instinctively raise a hand to my neck, feeling my own bead. It's reassuringly warm to the touch. Somehow I get the feeling that the one in the painting could be ice cold. This portrait of a Gumiho leaves me conflicted. There's the same longing I felt looking at the painting of the forest. But those claws and the blood, those feel foreign and detached. No comment, Booba. No comment. Is this how most people view Gumiho? It would explain the fear and terror that seemed to follow me wherever I went when I was younger. The curses and threats from farmers and townsfolk whenever they saw me. It wasn't until after the war, when the fable became more common in human lands, that I felt comfortable without my ears and tail hidden. Even then, I'd sometimes get dirty looks just for existing. The threats were usually reserved for when I got caught stealing. Still, I've never been like the Gumiho in the painting. Stealing is one thing, but hurting someone? That just isn't me. I wish I'd been able to explain that to them. I wonder how different my life would have been. I tear my eyes away from the painting, but I know I'll be thinking about it for a long time to come. There's no point dwelling on what could have been. I pass through the rest of the Korean exhibit quickly, barely glancing at the artifacts that I haven't seen yet. It isn't until I've nearly left the gallery that I see something that makes me pause again. In a small and unremarkable display case among many others, there are a number of delicate scrolls. On each one, a few old-style Korean characters are written. I don't think they're Hangul, but I don't know what they're called. They do look familiar, though. I left my own scroll back at home for safekeeping, but I don't need it with me to compare. The sweep of the brushstrokes, the shape of the characters, the shade of the ink. Closing my eyes and breathing in deeply, I swear I can smell them. My person. I press my hand against the glass. This is the closest I've been in hundreds of years. After centuries of looking, I finally get cut off by a museum attendant. Piece of shit. I leap backwards as someone shouts. I look around and see a middle-aged woman wearing a badge and museum t-shirt stalking towards me angrily. The instincts I thought I'd bury kick in. It's time to run. Backing up, I look around for a getaway route, but there isn't one. I'm surrounded on almost all sides by cases. The only open direction is the one the attendant is approaching from. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Think, Miho, think. There has to be a way out of this. Could I jump over the displays? No, they're way too tall. You are weak and made of tired, heading to bed. Good night, DJ. Thank you for coming by. Hope you have a good sleep. It's good to see you. Maybe if I transformed, I could get past the attendant. I have no idea how to navigate this building, though, and being a fox would attract way too much attention in a place like this. If I wait for them to get close, then I could probably run right past them like the security guard when I first arrived in Wellington. So, you know what? I don't know why that's not... D-J-A-M-A-M-I-Y. There we go. I don't know why DJ was not VIP'd, but DJ should be VIP'd, so there we go, I fixed it. If I wait for them to get close, then I could probably run right past them like the security guard when I first arrived in Wellington. Can't date the guard. You're just trying to date all the NPCs, aren't you, Rocket? First the mom, now the guard. Heart racing, my panic must show on my face, because they stop a couple meters away from me, frowning.
Hey, it's not that big a deal. Just please keep your hands off in the future.
Fair, but not really fair. With a shrug, they turn around, leaving me alone. That's it? My hands are shaking as I watch them retreat, expecting them to snap around and come after me. Of course, that doesn't happen, and I'm very slowly able to relax. All I'm left feeling afterwards is a lot of embarrassment. Looking around me, I'm glad that there aren't many people in this area. Nobody's looking at me either, whether out of politeness or because they just didn't notice. My face is burning red, and I look down at the scroll again just to hide it. I sigh. Maybe it was silly of me to think that I could change myself entirely in such a short time. Considering I'd just been remembering the old days and all the abuse that I went through from humans, it makes some sense. Yeah, no, but it has to be consistently. She wouldn't remember me still. If 24 hours passes and you don't interact with someone, they still forget about you. Because that happened with the bird girl from the cafe. Unfortunately. I really like that character, but she forgot about us too, and she met us a couple times, I think. After I settle myself down a little, I turn my attention back to what's really important. While I know that these scrolls have to be from my person, they don't help me much on their own. There's a little card in one corner of the case covered in text. It might have something useful written on it, but that doesn't do me any good. I consider trying to copy it all down to have Aspen or Juliet read it to me later. But there's so many words that I'm not sure I could get them all. I gulp, looking over at the museum attendant who I was so scared of just a moment ago. I do have one option. Summoning all of my courage, I approach them slowly. They're just a regular person, I remind myself, like Aspen or Juliet. Or even like me. Now, just doing their job.
Excuse me?
I hope that's polite enough. As she looks over to me, her face doesn't look annoyed. More bored.
Can I help you?
I'm sorry for touching the glass. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about those papers, like who wrote them.
Like I said, it's no big deal. It's just a safety precaution so nothing gets damaged. Anyway, there's an informational plaque in the corner. It should have all those details.
Words. Reading. Funny. Would they even believe me if I said I can't read? I worry that might make me even more suspicious.
Can't see very well, and the words are so small. Can you read it for me?
That works too.
Oh, sure. Let's see.
That was almost too easy. They don't question or analyze me at all, simply walking over and leaning in next to me.
Says here these were some of the first works by a calligrapher whose name was Jong-in in the 17th century.
Jong-in.
They were a scholar who lived in Korea and...
The attendant keeps reading, but I'm not listening. I've already gotten what I came for. A name. Jong-in. For the first time, I have something to call them. Something that's unmistakably theirs. I pretend to listen to the rest of what's being read out loud and thank the person on autopilot when they're done. My head's not here in the present moment. It's back in the forest where I was born.
정인.
Once they've walked away, I say it out loud, trying out how it sounds. I think it fits them.
정인. 정인.
I say it over and over again, making sure I'll never forget. Finally, I have something to go off of. No, that's not why we're looking for them. Feeling a little bit dazed from the enormity of the enormity of the moment, find my way downstairs and wander out of the museum. I can't wait to tell Juliet and Aspen. I'm so excited that I end up missing my turn to take me back to the library. Lost in my thoughts about what'll happen when I get there instead. Wait, who would look into you? Also not Kitsune, Gumiho. It's different. It's Korean. I don't even realize that I've zoned out until I reach the edge of Mount Victoria. Right where the city streets turn into parkland.
Oops. Good thing I can find my way back from here.
I'm still within the area that I visited before, so I'll be able to use the mountains as a landmark to find my way back. I hum to myself as I turn back, head abuzz with pleasant thoughts. If I give Juliet my person's name, I'm sure she can help me track them down. That's what she specializes in, after all. And I'm sure Aspen will want to hear all about their life too. She loves stories, and I'm sure Jung-in will have a ton. I'm not sure how they'll feel about seeing me again. I doubt they ever expected it to happen. They'll definitely be surprised that I'm not just the fox they met back then, but a person now. I have a feeling they'll at least be as glad as I am. I may be halfway home before I realize that I'm not alone. The prickling sensation on the back of my neck is unmistakable. My instincts are telling me that someone else is nearby. I'm still near the mountain, but it's practically empty here. I can hear the sound of other people in the distance, but they're all hidden by the trees and hills. I whip my head back and forth, but try as I might, I can't work out where they are. It's a strange and disconcerting feeling, given how easily I can pick up even the smallest animals. Then from the corner of my eye, I spot a bush slightly shuffling. Just as I turn to take a proper look, the silver fox I saw the other day steps out of it.
Oh, it's just you.
I start to bend down and reach out a hand like I would to pet a dog, but hesitate. I know from experience that a fox wouldn't respond to that. I'm surprised she hasn't run away already. That's what I would have done. She stares at me without the slightest movement, her eyes locked on mine. My heart jumps as the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Something is off. Then, without taking her eyes off of me, she starts to transform. She's a Gumiho too. I barely have time to be shocked as her arms and legs get longer and her fur retracts, head shrinking and changing to something more human-like. For the first time in my life, I'm face to face with another Gumiho. Megatron, no Gumiho. You're close. Wasn't Megatron this time, though. My throat tightens and goes dry. My vision narrows, and my ears start ringing in shock. It's as if all the world has fallen away except for me and her. The silver and black clothes she wears seems to shimmer in the moonlight, like the skin of a snake waiting to strike. Hanging loosely on her frame, the wrapped fabrics around her body and face make her appear almost formless. Her only accessory is a bracelet around her wrist. It's a plain leather band, but a shining white bead is held in the middle by another loop of leather. I recognize that bead. I have one just like it. Well, almost like it. Whereas mine is a duller, milky color, hers is so bright that it almost hurts to look at. The soft, blue glow around it reminds me of the full moon. It's almost like she stepped out of the painting I just saw at the museum. A shawl covers most of her face, but her hair and eyes are still visible. Those intense eyes. Her gaze reminds me of steel. While they're the same shape as mine, they're sharper, angrier. Crueler. She haughtily tosses her long, flowing hair back as she takes a step towards me. I skip back, keeping the distance between us. When I lived in the forest, I knew to flee when I met a predator stronger than I was. Better to get away alive than risk my life for pride. My survival instinct tells me that this is one of those times. The other Gumiho laughs, but there's no humor in it. Sharp and hollow. It only makes me more uneasy.
So, the human pet still knows when to run.
She sounds like a bitch.
The human... what? Pet. I've been watching you for a while. Ever since you came to this place, actually. Watched you demean and domesticate yourself for the sake of humans. It's pathetic.
I got 2 girlfriends. How many do you got? Just saying.
When you first arrived, I was hopeful that we might be alike. Optimistic, even. I was a fool. I see you now for what you are. Nothing better than a dog, begging for its master's affection and table scraps. We are not the same. We are nothing alike.
You could have just not transformed and talked to me. You could have just ignored me forever. That would have been okay, too. Her words hang in the air, poisoning my good mood from just moments ago. My first instinct is to run away, as usual. Something stops me, though. I'm entranced. The novelty of this experience, of finally meeting another Gumiho, keeps me rooted in place despite my fear. No matter what she's like, this is the closest I've ever been to someone like me. I swallow the lump in my throat and hope that my voice doesn't shake as much as I think it will.
So what? Did you ambush me just to say that? Ambush? You should have known weeks ago that I was following you. But I repeat myself. You've numbed yourself to your instincts and your potential. I saw you in that place of memories. Saw you gaze upon the portrait of one of our sisters. I hoped that you would open your eyes, as you haven't before. It pains me to see your existence do disservice to our very kind. Now that you have seen what you could and should be, perhaps you can still change yourself, dog. Sharpen your teeth and claws once more. These creatures that you bind yourself to, those human and those not, they are but shackles, slowly squeezing away at which is wild and free in you. Do not mistake my words for sympathy or pity. I would see you gone from this place. But so long as you remain, your presence is an eyesore. It pains me to witness.
Sounds like a you problem.
Thus, I will do what I must to cure it, as unpleasant a task as it may be. You will never be one of them, no matter how much you might crave it. Better to embrace what you are and can be. Anything else is a waste of your abilities.
Right? Yeah, she's definitely got doomer energy. She studies me for a moment longer and then turns away. I feel like I should say something, but I can't find the words. Whether from shock or fear, I'm too dazed to so much as stammer out a denial. Her clothes melt away into silver fur as she transforms back into a fox. I reach out to stop her, but she flits off and disappears into the darkness without a moment's hesitation. Also, we have confirmation that the clothing turns into the fur on the animal. So is a change of wardrobe possible? Would that be changing the fur when you transform? Magical transformations are kind of confusing to me. This is Vera speaking. I'm just still using the voice from the game. Or you could just do as I please rather than let you decide who I should be. What? That's ridiculous. And also a good idea. Let's do that one. The world around me rushes back in. My skin suddenly feels cold in the night air. The rush of emotions going through my head evaporates, and the adrenaline that was running through me ebbs away. I'm left just standing there, alone. Closing my eyes, I muster the strength that I haven't tapped into in weeks. My bead warms itself as I transform, my body following the same motions as the other Gumihos. I try to start chasing her, but my first step on four legs are shaky. I've grown unfamiliar with this form, almost stumbling over just trying to move. Maybe there's a bit of truth in what she said. I say that, boo, but it hurts. I take a few more steps towards the brush, but soon give up. Even if I caught up with her, what would I say? What would I do? I'd only make a fool of myself. There's a scent on the wind that I couldn't notice as a human, but is unmissable as a fox. I recognize it immediately from a long time ago, on one of my first mornings here. When I first woke from my den near the mountain and stepped outside, I knew that someone had been there. It was her. She really was following me from the beginning. For a long moment, I watched the place where she disappeared. Then I transformed back. I don't really feel like a fox right now. I don't know what I'm feeling. Some of what she said is true. I haven't used any of my talents in a long, long time. My clumsiness when I'm in my fox form, my own original body, is a reminder of that. But as for degrading myself for the sake of others, that doesn't feel true. I've spent my entire life living free and for only myself. It's always been my choice to remain here and to not be forgotten. So why do her words sting so much? If I was totally confident in my decision, then they shouldn't bother me, right? Maybe I've forgotten more of myself than I know. The painting at the museum and the other Gumiho herself both prove that there's something different about me. Something that must come easy to everyone else. The same way all the aspects of daily life at home don't come easily to me either. I feel disconnected, torn between two worlds that I barely know, but can't help being drawn to. Where do I fit in? Where do I belong? I know what Juliet and Aspen would say, but does that make it true? Their home hasn't been my home for long. An allegory for something? Probably not. For me personally, I'm just thinking about, am I cuttlefish? Or am I a reindeer? Or a robot? Or a human? I'm not a human. But she's not a human either. And she's basically a human. And I'm not a human either, and I'm basically a human. I'm also the other things. Life is confusing. A cutie. That's not an animal, and you know it. I mean, an animal can be cute, I guess. That's true, but it's not what I meant. You know that's not what I meant. I've been a thief and a liar for so much longer than I've been whatever I am now. Without anything else to gain out here, I slowly start to make my way back home again. The excitement I felt about telling Juliet and Aspen everything I found at the museum has vanished. We'll have to wait for another time. After a quiet walk through the empty streets to the library, I quietly slink inside, trying to keep Juliet from noticing. I just don't feel like talking right now. It seems to work. I can hear her bustling around somewhere, but she doesn't call out to me when I come in. Without a word, I ascend the stairs to my room as quickly and quietly as I can, and climb under the covers. It's far too early to go to bed, but I don't know what else to do. If I'm awake, my thoughts will only be a bother. Better to sleep it off and hope that I feel better in the morning. Yesterday's events, both the good and bad, linger in my mind while I perform my usual routine of tossing and turning in bed before I get up. The trash are just pretending to be trash. Yeah, you've got a similar dilemma going on, don't ya? It's a tough one. You gotta figure that out for yourself, unfortunately. I perform my usual routine of tossing and turning in bed before I get up. Now that the shock's worn off, I feel a little better about what happened. I wonder if I've forgotten all about the other Gumiho by the end of today. I imagine the curse doesn't work on Gumihos. That's my thought, but I'm not sure. In fact, now that I think about it, it's possible I had met other Gumiho before and just forgot about them. Everyone forgets meeting me, so maybe it works in reverse too. Rather than dwell on the idea, I choose to ignore it. There's no way to know. I just drive myself crazy wondering. Instead, I keep myself busy by making myself more presentable for work. Heading into the bathroom, I clean myself up using the soaps and shampoos given to me by Juliet. She's helped me so much ever since I started working here. Looking into the mirror for one final check before I head downstairs for breakfast, I can't help but think of what the other Gumiho said. How I've domesticated myself. My spotless face looks back at me, framed by fluffy and pampered hair. I can't deny that I've let myself be spoiled by others, content to just go along for the ride.
Snap out of it, Miho.
I lightly pat my face, like I've seen Aspen do sometimes when she's getting ready to start her own job. I'm not sure what it's supposed to accomplish, but it makes me feel a bit more confident. Heading downstairs, I'm treated to the familiar scent of fresh-cut fruit and frying eggs, as well as the pleasant sound of Aspen and Juliet chatting about books. When I enter the kitchen, I'm greeted with 2 smiles. Gumihos can be cat-like sometimes. It's possible. foxes can have some cat-like mannerisms.
Morning, Miho.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Breakfast will be ready soon.
Good morning.
Cool.
I slide into my usual spot at the table and grab some apple slices, munching on those while waiting for the other two to go back to their conversation. Instead, both of them look at me expectantly.
So, how'd it go?
Oh yeah, the museum, that's right. That was a thing, wasn't it?
The museum?
The museum.
Of course. What else?
Was everything all right? When I didn't hear from you last night.
What was it? It was Jong-in? I think it was Jong-in, right? That was the name we're trying to remember.
Oh, nah. It was fine. They even had what I was looking for. There were some more scrolls by my person.
There's a loud clatter as Aspen drops her fork in surprise. Even Juliet's eyes go wide with genuine shock.
There were?
Are you sure it was them?
Yep, definitely. I'd recognize that style anywhere. I learned a lot about them.
Cats basically domesticated themselves and evolved a meow that more closely mimics. Oh, yeah, I heard that about meowing. It's fun. It works. Meows are adorable. And works very well on humans. Smart cats.
Their name is Chongin, and they're a scholar. I don't
I
know what they
remember
study,
that
though.
name.
The museum person didn't say.
I remembered that name. I remembered that name. That's how... I'm very smart. I remembered that name for like 10, 20 minutes. Yeah. I'm kind of a big deal in the memory department. For a long moment, there's silence, other than the sound of eggs sizzling in the pan. Both my friends just stare at me dumbstruck. Okay, what is frustrating though? This is the name of a fictional character from a video game I'm playing. If that was something I actually had to remember, I would have forgotten it 2 minutes later. But because it's from a video game and it means absolutely nothing to my life, it's gonna stick with me forever. Rest assured. Thanks, brain. Thanks for making that easy for me.
What are those looks for?
You,
Wait. You said you saw a moose walk by? That's awesome. Say hi for me. I don't know if I met them, but we're definitely related. Oh, and I'll forget by then, probably. But no, like... It's... The more I need to remember something, the more likely I am to forget it 5 minutes later. And the less I really need to know it, the more likely I am to remember it 10 years later. It's the dumbest thing ever. I hate it.
you seem awfully calm. I assumed you must not have found anything, or you'd have been back immediately.
Yeah, well, there was some other stuff that happened too. I'll tell you about it some other time.
It's tempting to tell them about the Gumiho, if only because I know they'd reassure me about everything she said. But that's why I can't tell them. Not yet. In a way, I'd just be proving her right. Oh, yeah. No, I know meows are just for communicating with humans. Pretty cool.
Well, alright.
We'll be here whenever you need us.
Thanks. Is breakfast ready?
And you just reminded me of like those videos people post on YouTube sometime where they're like, we're gonna stick a little camera on the cat's collar and then the cat's gonna go out on its little daily adventure and meet up with its friends. Those videos are always really interesting to watch. Very cute.
Yes, just now. Here you go.
Juliet fills our plates and takes her seat, and we all dig in. It's a quieter meal than usual, with only the sounds of chewing and silverware scraping against the dishes. I feel like Aspen and Juliet are having a conversation in their silence. Of course, they'd expect more from me. I'd expect more from me, too. And right after leaving the museum, I was that excited. I am still excited, of course. It's just been tempered a little. I still plan to ask Aspen and Juliet to help me get in touch with Jongin, but I want to wait until I can do it with a clear head. Once everyone's finished eating, I gather up the dirty dishes and take them to the sink, while Juliet washes the pans and Aspen wipes down the tables. Another routine morning.
I'll see you two later. Thanks for breakfast.
My pleasure, as always.
Bye!
With that, Aspen politely takes her leave and heads out the door. Juliet and I then go into the library, ready to start the day. Or end it in her case. I head to my spot behind the front desk and begin getting everything ready. The checkout sheets, my pens and pencils, my study materials, and so on.
Are you all set, Miho?
Yep, I've got everything I need.
Wonderful. Well, I'll leave you to it then. Have a good day.
Will do.
You too. Sleep well.
From the way Juliet lingers halfway between me and the stairs, I can tell she wants to say or ask something else. She thinks better of it, simply giving me a smile before heading up to her room. I whistle while I throw open the curtains and unlock the door. By the time I've returned to the counter, ready for the first patrons to arrive, I even manage a light melody. I've been practicing my whistling a lot lately, as a way to spend time while alone. Aspen tried to show me how, but she's not very good at it either. I'm pretty sure I'm already better than she is. The sound of it reminds me of the birds back in my home forests. Before long, patrons start to arrive, and I soon have a list of things to do. Books to check in and out, books to return, books to search for. It keeps me good and busy. The hours pass by in blissful normalness, and I don't have a single thing to complain about. And that is probably the best place to leave it for today. Have you seen the video where people set up a camera on their dog and set it to go off when the dog's heart rate elevated? No, I haven't. It's interesting. Hopefully it's elevated because the dog's excited to go play with other doggies. But yeah, we're going to leave it there for today. That was actually a pretty decently sized stream, all things considered. I was expecting to go for like 90 minutes, but like, as busy and crazy as things are, once I get in the swing of streaming, it's hard for me to want to stop. So I really enjoy it. It's good times. Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to save over it. Yeah. I don't need to use my save states. I know how to speak English, I swear. Dogs have 4 hearts. That is factually true and accurate. Very, very accurate and true. All right, to the title. To who may pester me tomorrow for a movie. Okay. Good to know, good to know. I stream in the afternoon tomorrow, so yeah, I'd probably be free.
Let's see what you reeled in today.
I just wanted to hear whose voice popped up. That was, Kim. Remember Kim? I think he's a vampire. I don't know if they confirmed he was a vampire. I think he's a vampire, though. He taught us how to fish. And then we met him multiple times, and he taught us how to fish multiple times, I think. Yeah, we don't have many lasting friendships. It's fine. See, that's the Traveler. 99% sure he's probably dead. And they're not saying it. Because they know, but they don't want to let down Miho. I forgot that's what she looked like at the beginning. She's very, very incognito. I just really like this game's art, so I'm just browsing it. Look at her, she's adorable. I love Miho. Oh, yeah, what was Bird Girl's name? I forget. I love Bird Girl. I don't know where to find her. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I like that character a lot, though. Real cafe sounds to study and relax to core. Yeah, absolutely. Past midnight and you want to watch Howl's Moving Castle. It's a pretty movie. I haven't watched that one in a good while. Yeah, no, this studio makes really good games. I love all the stuff of theirs I played. I've only played 2 of their games so far, but I'd like to play more. I think they themselves have made 3 visual novels, but they also publish for other people too. The main crux of their company is they really like girls, and they like girls who like girls. So that's basically this entire company in a nutshell. But they make really pretty games, well put together. But yeah, we'll pick that up in I don't know, week or 2. I like this game. It's cozy. I feel like it's a good Thursday night game. At the end of our mission summary, lesbian. That's right. Girls are nice, boys too. No boys allowed here. Boys got cooties. That's why you guys are in chat. Stay out there, boys. They, thems also. Yeah. I mean, these games do have boys, and does have non-binary characters as well. But the primary focus of the game is the girls. That's their gimmick. No boys allowed. Kim is a boy. And then there's the kid. There have been two boys in the game. There's Kim, the vampire fishing man, and then there's the kid of the mom who has a Pokemon for a friend. And then there's like first customer of the day who does not have a face, as most first customers of the day don't. Anyway. Yes. Oh wait, I just tried to click yes on OBS instead of the game. That's not gonna work. Back to the office! Alright, let's figure out where we're going. Where we are gonna be. Oh, hi! Hi, Booba. Hi. I almost congratulated you for being first, but you're not first. You said hi. You were first earlier, though. I might have missed that. Oh, Manuel, you were also first an hour ago. Congratulations on being first. Anyway, who is going to be your next stream? There are not a lot of streamers around right now, because everyone's out having fun and mingling, which is cool. And I would like to do that one day. And I'll get there. But let's see who is around. I know. I got a random notice that Raelle was streaming. I don't know if she still is or not. If she is, we're absolutely going over there. If you haven't seen Raelle's new model, you need to. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming, Zania. Okay. PC98. Hello. We're raiding somebody. I'm waiting for the page to load properly. It's being kind of sluggish. Oh, because it decided to click into somebody against my will. Hold on. Don't just start playing streams. Computer is being a little laggy today. I need to do more cleanup work on it. Okay, give it a moment. Hold on, it's being slow. You know why it is? I know exactly why it's being slow. It's because, Twitch has started doing this thing recently. Oh, so, no, I think, okay, the reason it fights with me, on PC is because I think they might have changed something. Oh my god! Thanks for that. I think they might have changed something, internally that's trying to make it so it shows me advertisements, even though I have an ad blocker stopping those advertisements. So what happens is that whenever a new stream starts playing, such as the auto-playing stream on the front page, there is an immediate buffer cycle kicking in, there's an endless buffer cycle that kicks in on the front page of Twitch, which causes the entire website to slow down. Yeah. So that's what it was. Because as soon as I was able to pause that, like, endless buffer, I was able to, interact with things and they weren't crazy anymore. Alright, is Rael on? Rael is on! Rael is on! You may have seen Nia play this the other day, but, Rael is one of my favorite people in the world, and you best bet we're gonna be rating Rael, who is, a wonderful road-killed VTuber, if you haven't seen the rebrand. Always laugh when you see the commercial break in progress. Yeah. You're not on the baby mode, probably. Okay. Muting. Alright, thank you everyone for coming by. Coming up on the channel, we do actually have some stream content. I lied. I lied about the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Here's what's happening. Hello, Manuel. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be here on this channel for Farm Fridays, which is not even a thing about farming anymore. It hasn't been about farming for a long time. Whatever. The Friday streams that we do, it's gonna be Gate and Frex and I playing some GameCube games over here tomorrow at 3 p.m. PST. And then what's happening this weekend? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. But for now, we are rating Rael Rotten. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend and Friday or whatever day it is where you are. Probably Friday. I think it's Friday for everybody. It's not even Friday for me yet. It's Friday for most of you. That's fine. Drink your dried sponge. That's right. Drink your dried sponge, everyone. All right. See you next time. Did I fuck that up? Wait a second. How do you raid? I forgot how to raid, apparently. Why did my raid not work? What's going on? Hello? Hello? Okay, the first raid just didn't go through for no reason whatsoever, but the second one worked like a charm. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Go say hi to Rael. Yeah. Raid message is whatever you want it to be. What happened in the game today? Illiterate fox raid. It's an illiterate gay fox raid. It's illiterate gay fox raid. That's it. Alright, bye everyone, goodbye!